Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Konaha. Opening sign to Reincarnation I. Chapter 1. Konaha 47 years. God has no bridge. Looking around, there are broken walls and ruins everywhere, and there are big pits on the ground that have been punched by powerful ninjutsu, and some of them are still smoking. The cold mountain wind blew by chance, making the already pungent bloody smell even heavier. It was obvious that a bloody battle had just happened here not long ago. On the desolate battlefield, there were 7 or 8 figures standing in front of a pile of ruins made of huge stones. But seeing these 7 or 8 figures, all of them were ninjas from Konaha, and most of the ninjas had the logo of Konaha guards printed on their clothes. Yes, these ninjas are basically from the Konaha guard, or more precisely, from the Konaha Uchiha clan. The responsibility of the Konaha guard is generally to maintain the security of the village, but now that the Third Ninja War is in full swing, Konaha ninjas are seriously insufficient. Even some shamanen who just graduated from the ninja school have thrown themselves into the battlefield, not to mention the Konaha guard. Kakashi, is that here? Uchiha Shisui, who was in charge of leading the team, looked at the environment at the scene, turned his head and asked the non-Uchiha boy standing at the front. The boy closed his left eye, and he could see a wound running through the entire upper and lower eyelids. It was obvious that the left eye had been stabbed blind with a sharp weapon. This person is none other than a student of Namikaze Minato, Kakashi. Beside Kakashi was another member of the Minato class, Rin Nohara. And the third member of the Minato class, Uchiha Obito, is not here at the moment, because Uchiha Obito has been buried in the ruins in front of everyone. Kakashi nodded. This is it, please hurry up and dig out the soil as soon as possible. Go. Uchiha Shisui waved his hand, and the Konaha guard stopped talking nonsense, and immediately stepped forward, removed the pieces of gravel, and carried out diligent digging. I'm going. Uchiha Obito just died, and the Battle of Kanabi Bridge just ended. Nima, how did I travel to such an embarrassing period? What no one knew was that one of the Uchiha clansmen who was carrying the gravel had a pained expression on his face. This person's name is Uchiha Ryuban, 12 years old, just graduated from ninja school. The strength of the ninja has not awakened to Sharingan. It is an ordinary Uchiha clan. On the surface, nothing can be seen, but in fact, 10 minutes ago, the soul in this person was already occupied by another soul. Yes, the current Uchiha Rukin is already a serious traveler. Before crossing, Uchiha Ryuran loved to watch anime. Hokage, as one of the 3 most popular migrant manga, was naturally very familiar with him in his previous life. Therefore, although he had just crossed over not long ago, Uchiha Rukin immediately judged the timeline he was in very accurately. It's a time of war. As an ordinary man, in such a dangerous world, he is simply not enough to watch. Ding! The God level sign in system is successfully bound. The host can check in at some special locations. The more special the check-in location, the more generous the reward. Some locations can be checked in repeatedly, and some locations can only be checked in once. Please explore by yourself. Just as Uchiha Ryublade was carrying the stones, several mechanical and electronic sounds suddenly sounded in his mind. Uchiha Ryuan couldn't help but be stunned for a moment, and then suddenly became excited. Lao Su's plug-in has finally arrived. A check-in place is detected. Does the host check in? Immediately afterwards, in Uchiha Ryuan's mind, the system's inquiry sounded again. Sign in. What's there to hesitate about? Uchiha Rukin immediately spoke to the system in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully signing in and getting the reward of Samsara I. Wheel. Samsara I. Bang! The big stone in Uchiha Rukin's hand suddenly hit the ground and directly on his feet, but the huge shock made Uchiha Rukin feel no pain. Because at this moment Uchiha Ryuan's whole person is already stunned. Reincarnation I. The system is too powerful. The first time you sign in, the Reincarnation I will be rewarded. This is the ultimate form of writing reincarnation. It's super awesome. Uchiha Ryuan kept roaring in his heart and almost jumped up. What kind of existence the Samsara I is in Hokage, needless to say, just think about the midterm big boss Vortex Nagato. The abilities of the 6 paths are all very heaven-defying, the earth-blasting star and the tailed beast are all younger brothers, and the powerhouse at the level of the god of the ninja world is completely invincible. Uchiha Rairin didn't expect that he would become such a powerhouse from a mediocre ordinary person. This span is a bit too big, so that Uchiha Rukin almost couldn't react. Flower Blade, what's wrong? A voice sounded, interrupting Uchiha Ryuben's train of thought, but seeing Uchiha Shisui tilting his head, looking at Uchiha Ryuben and asking. The others also looked at Uchiha Rukin with a solemn expression. It's no wonder that everyone is overly nervous, and the wind is so turbulent. After all, an extremely tragic battle has just broken out here, and the enemy may appear at any time. Is this Uchiha Shisui? Lu Ren glanced at the other party and found that this was a boy who looked about the same age as Kakashi. Shisui's age is not clearly explained in Hokage, so there is some controversy. Some people judged by the pictures of Shisui and Itachi in the same frame, guessing that Zishui is 3 or 4 years older than Itachi, which is very one-sided. After all, Naruto is not a live-action drama. It is not reliable to judge age by appearance. It is reasonable to judge by plot and background. Chirabi, Ching and others have Zishui in their memoirs, and Zishui once shocked Ching when he was young, so Zishui's age is definitely not that young. Moreover, the ninja wants to be famous in the world of ninja, and even obtain a specific title, which is more reasonable in the war years, and the possibility of Shisui becoming famous in 3 battles is still relatively large. No, it's okay. Facing Shishui's gaze, Uchiha Ryuben immediately waved his hand and answered casually. But he saw that everyone was still staring at him. Uchiha Ryuren suddenly realized that this is not a previous life, but a world of ninjas. Although the strength of Shamanen is low, he is a warrior trained with countless sweats. How could he not be able to move even a rock? Perfunctory words are not enough to dispel everyone's doubts. I'm just afraid to see Obito-san, Uchiha Ryuba immediately said in a sad voice. Everyone suddenly realized that Uchiha Rukin was afraid of seeing Uchiha Obito's body and was unwilling to accept the fact that Uchiha Obito was likely to die long ago. Ryuren, we are all ninjas. It is our mission to defend the village at all costs. Even if we give our lives for this, even if Obito really dies, he is still a hero. Uchiha Shisui said to Uchiha Rukin with a stern face. No, Obito will not die. Kakashi gritted his teeth and said stubbornly. Everyone else sighed slightly. Buried under such a large pile of boulders, Uchiha Obito might be smashed into flesh, right? How could he still be alive? But they can also understand Kakashi's mood, and they didn't say much. Yes, Kakashi, Obito is indeed not dead, he was saved by Madara Uchiha. The only Uchiha Rukin who knew the truth couldn't help but think so in his heart after hearing Kakashi's words. Of course, it's just a thought, but in any case, it can't be said. He continued to carry stones out one by one like everyone else, and he still kept that sadness on his face. Uchiha Ryuren doesn't want to be seen by others for the time being. Shen Wupai Bridge actually signed out of Samsara Eye. Is this place so special? However, Lu Ren's heart could not be calm at all, and his mind was full of things about the sign-in system. In the anime, the Battle of Kanobi Bridge is of great significance, because this is the starting point of Uchiha's blackening of the belt, and it is also the beginning of Uchiha Madara's plan to develop the Eyes of the Moon. But for the world of Hokage, Shinwubi Bridge is just the location of a battle. Apart from that, there is nothing special about it. Could it be that Kanobi Bridge is special not because of this battle, but because of Madara Uchiha hidden underground? Suddenly, a flash of light flashed through Uchiha Ryuen's mind, making him suddenly realize. There is a secret base under the Shinwubi Bridge. Age spots do not know how long it has been lurking in that base. Forget it, this question is meaningless. Now I should be the only perfect owner of the Samsara Eye in the entire Naruto world, right? Uchiha Ryuen thought with excitement in his mind. Of course, the people who have the Eye of Reincarnation are not only the Uchiha Ryublade, but Nagato has no idea how many years he has had the Eye of Reincarnation. But the key problem is that Vortex Nagato is not from the Uchiha clan, so it is not a perfect possession. Although he is from the Vortex tribe and has an open physique, he still needs to bear the huge burden of the Eye of Reincarnation. The Uchiha Ryublade is different. He is completely equivalent to the eyes of the original match, and he can naturally control it perfectly. Needless to say, you won't be dragged down by anything. You can also close and open the Reincarnation Eye at will. You must know that although Uchiha Rukin now has samsara eyes, the pupils are still just ordinary eyes. Not the eye of reincarnation. However, when Uchiha Ryublade needs to use samsara eye, as long as his mind moves, he can automatically switch to samsara eye state, which is not too convenient. While thinking about these things in their minds, they were carrying out the transportation, and before they knew it, everyone had moved all the stones away. But what makes everyone feel extremely strange is that the bottom is actually empty, and there is no body of Uchiha Obito at all. How could this be? Obito, he was buried under this. Kakashi frowned, extremely puzzled. Kakashi, did you remember it wrong? Uchiha Shisui pondered for a moment, then turned his head and asked. No, I'm pretty sure it's this place. Kakashi said firmly. Kakashi, Obito must have been rescued. Great, Obito is not dead. Nohara Rin shouted hopefully. Yes, it must be so. Someone must have rescued Obito. Kakashi's eyes lit up, and he nodded heavily. Uchiha Shisui sighed slightly in his heart. He wanted to raise an objection. If someone really rescued Obito, why did he pile the stones back? Is it to hide people's eyes? It doesn't make sense at all. However, Uchiha Shisui also knew that Kakashi and Nohara Rin rarely had hope in their hearts. At this time, they really couldn't bear to speak out, so they didn't say much. As for why Uchiha Obito's body disappeared, it was indeed a little strange, but now that the war is tense, it is not the time to struggle with such things. Since no body with soil was found, Uchiha Shisui and the others naturally didn't stay here any longer, and immediately began to return to Konaha. Whoosh whoosh, everyone's instant body technique was launched, and soon disappeared. And when Uchiha Shisui and the others just left, a black shadow like a liquid emerged from a tree not far away. It was the first dutiful son of the ninja world, Mr. Heiju. The people of Konoha are gone, and they shouldn't come to check this place again in the future. Uchiha Madara intends to carry out the Moon Eye plan with the soil, so my plan will also begin. People from Yenian, there is a good show to watch now, but, for the time being, it has nothing to do with me. Heiju said to himself, and the whole person sank into the trunk again and disappeared. Just on the tree where Highway disappeared, a rock ninja jumped out, Shenshi Shisui. And Kakashi. This is a great opportunity to eliminate Shisui, and inform Lord Han immediately. During the Battle of Kanabi Bridge, Konoha's main opponent was Yenian Village. During this process, two people can be said to be famous in the entire ninja world. One is the yellow flash wave Fung Minato, and the other is the instant body stop water. As for Sannin, their battlefield is World War II, but not the Third World War. At the current stage, among the Sannin, Jiraiya also traveled all year round to find the Son of Prophecy. Tsunade ran away from Konoha and disappeared, and the only remaining Orochimaru, for some unknown reason, rarely appeared on the battlefield. It made the entire three wars almost become a show for Namikaze Minato and Uchiha Shisui. So for these two people, Yan Yin is eager to get rid of them, and does not want to miss any opportunity. Whoosh whoosh. In the dense forest in the mountains, Uchiha Shisui took the lead, and the people with Kakashi and the Konoha guards were quickly turning back towards Konoha. Suddenly, Shisui's expression changed slightly. Stopping the water, but what did you find? Kakashi asked in a deep voice. An enemy is coming. Everyone, prepare for battle. Uchiha Shisui said to everyone with a stern face. During the war, this kind of situation was simply too common. Everyone took no hassle and clenched their ninja gear tightly, and became fully alert. Swish swish. At this moment, several figures flashed by, and a group of ninjas from Yenian village appeared on the tree trunk opposite the crowd. One of the leaders wore a crimson hat on his head, crimson armor on his body, and a crimson mask on his mouth. All in all, it's a deep red, which is very eye-catching. Its tower-like body, simply standing there, gave people a faint sense of oppression. Steam Ninja, Iwagakure really looks down on me. Uchiha Shisui's brows could not help but wrinkle. Some people think that Yenian's encirclement and suppression of Zishui is a black notice. I think it is better to explain first, it is not like this. Yan Yin is currently at war with Konoha. Yan Yin wants to get rid of Konoha's genius Shisui, that's all, it has nothing to do with Hei. It's just that Madara Uchiha is under the bridge of Kamabashi, so Kurohue is lurking here, so he can see the actions of the Iwagakushi ninjas. Later, someone said that the Earthburst sky star might be seen, and I think it's too much thinking. At this time, Obito just died, and Madara's plan has not officially started. Why does he want to monitor the entire ninja world? It was the period with soil, not the period of spots. Steam Ninja. After hearing Uchiha Shisui's words, Uchiha Ryuin also thought to himself. After thinking about it for a while, I recalled who the big man in front of him was. Han, the power of the five-tailed King Mu. When Uchiha Ryuin recalled the identity of this person, he also felt very painful. Although this guy Han is a physique-type ninja, taijutsu doesn't mean that he is not strong, but Kai Huang's 8 armors amaze the entire ninja world. Not to mention, Han is still a strong man. Uchiha Shisui, today is your day of death. Han pointed at Uchiha Shisui with his hand, and said coldly and ruthlessly. Laugh, laugh. At the same time, the back of Han's armor began to spray a large amount of steam obliquely upward. Uchiha Shisui didn't dare to be careless. The other party started to spray steam, which means that the other party was about to start. Swish. Sure enough, at that moment, Han's figure suddenly turned into a phantom and disappeared in place in an instant. With lightning speed, he catapulted towards Uchiha Shisui. Click. The branch that Han had stepped on broke in an instant. So fast, Shushin Zishui's pupils shrank slightly, and he didn't dare to be careless. With a flick of his body, he appeared on another tree trunk like a ghost. Boom! A loud noise came out, and the entire crown of the tree where Uchiha Shisui stood before was forcibly knocked off by Han. I have to say that Han's power is indeed amazing. At the same time, those people brought by Han also rushed over quickly. Of course, their target was not Uchiha Shisui, but Kakashi and others. Not to be outdone, Kakashi stepped forward to meet him, and a fierce battle broke out between the two sides. Uchiha Ryuin just got the samsara eye, and he didn't want to expose his true strength for the time being, so he consciously ran into the distance. A few instant body techniques were used, and they quickly jumped out of the main battlefield. It is normal to be scattered in the middle of the battle. No one noticed it at all. There were only 2 ninjas from Iwagakure, chasing after Ryuin. However, after leaving the battlefield, Uchiha Ryuin stopped abruptly, turned around leisurely, and looked at the 2 pursuers behind him leisurely. It was 2 Chunin. For the usual Uchiha Rukin, this is almost a mortal situation, but now, Uchiha Rukin is dead, but he doesn't care about these 2 people at all. Little devil, why didn't you run away? Could it be that you accept your fate? One of the Chunin, with a cruel and cold smile on the corner of his mouth, sneered coldly at Uchiha Ryuin. Fei-ya, this is from the Uchiha clan, don't be careless. The other person frowned and reminded. The Uchiha family's Sharingan is famous in the entire ninja world. Even if the other side is a submissive, it should not be underestimated. Who knows if the other side has Sharingan? Who knows if the riding wheel will be suddenly turned on during the battle? According to Iwain's latest information, just in the battle at Kamabashi Bridge not long ago, a Uchiha kid suddenly opened his Sharingan and killed a lot of people. With this lesson, Iwagakure became more and more afraid to be careless in the face of Uchiha. Too done too long spear. Fei-ya just said that he was not forgiving. In fact, he didn't underestimate Uchiha Ryu's edge. His palms suddenly began to seal, and a light drink came out of his mouth. Chi. Under the feet of Uchiha Ryubana and the surrounding ground, a thorn of soil suddenly stabbed outwards, surrounding Uchiha Ryuban's entire body. The power of this move is still very strong, and Black Earth has used this move to break Naruto's multi-shadow clone technique. Not to mention the Uchiha Ryubana, who is still in the cultivation base at the moment. Even if he wants to use the instant body technique to dodge, he may not be able to dodge it. There is no reason for him. In some conventional ninjutsu battles, Genin is naturally inferior to Chunin. But at this moment, Uchiha Ryuin didn't need to use any telekinesis. The eyeballs in his sockets turned, and the samsara eyes flashed out. At the same time, a repulsive force appeared, and the body of Uchiha Rukin rose directly from the ground and was suspended in the air. This, what kind of means is this? Both Fei-ya were dumbfounded. This Uchiha clan can fly. Could it be that he can also use Lord Onogi's super light and heavy rock technique? Vientian Tianian. But the two of them didn't have time to understand the problem, and Uchiha Ryurin stretched out his right hand again and made a move at the two of them. A huge suction force appeared, and the bodies of Feiya and the two involuntarily flew towards the Uchiha Ryublade. Chi-chi. Two sounds of flesh and blood being pierced by sharp blades sounded, and the bodies of the two of them stopped in front of Uchiha Rukin. The hearts of the two were each pierced by a long black rod. Until they died, the eyes of the two were wide open, filled with horror and disbelief. No matter what, they couldn't believe that two Chunin were killed so easily by a lower end. Having killed two Chunin so easily, Samsara Eye is worthy of Samsara Eye. Lu Ren landed from the sky at this time, and couldn't help but sigh. However, after feeling his current physical condition for a while, Lu Ren couldn't help but frown slightly. It's just killing two Chunin. I just used the Vientiane Heavenly Enchantment to condense two black sticks, which actually consumed 20% of my chakra. This consumption is far greater than Lu Blade imagined. At this level of consumption, Lu Ren probably won't be able to fight for too long with his Samsara Eye. That's not right. I was originally from the Uchiha clan, and it is perfectly compatible with the Samsara Eye. I shouldn't be dragged down by the Samsara Eye like Nagato. No, I didn't have any problems using the Samsara Eye just now. The real problem is, I'm just a Jinin now, the amount of chakra is too small. After some thought, Uchiha Ryuin suddenly realized. He is only a small restraint now, and the amount of chakra in his body is extremely limited. The amount of chakra consumed by such a sky-defying eye of reincarnation is very amazing. This has led to the embarrassing situation that the current flow edge is a bit lacking in blue. I originally thought that I was invincible during the hurricane period, and I could make waves at will. Now it seems that I think too much. It seems that at this stage, I can only grow in a vulgar way, and it is better to be stubborn. Lu Ren thought about it carefully and made a decision. With his current situation, there is no problem in dealing with Jonin, but if he is dealing with Ying, Ryurin doesn't have much confidence. Without him, blue is really not enough. After making the decision, Lu Ren threw the corpses of Fei Ya and the two on the ground, and then used a transformation technique. In an instant, he became a completely different person. After doing all this, Uchiha Rukin began to return to the battlefield. After some thought, Lu Ren felt that he still couldn't ignore Shishui's life or death. After all, the village knew that Zishui led a team to look for Obito's body, and as a result, even people like Zishui died, but Lu Ren returned alive, which is unconvincing. There must be countless troubles. What's more, Lu Ren couldn't hold back, and wanted to try the power of Samsara Eye. So Lu Ren decided to go back and have a look. If Zishui could handle everything, he naturally wouldn't take action. If Zishui was in a bad situation, he wouldn't mind secretly taking action. Of course, everything is still under the premise of protecting yourself. When Uchiha Rukin appeared, the battle between the two sides was basically coming to an end. Konoha's side can be said to be very miserable. Except for Uchiha Shisui and Kakashi, everyone else was basically killed. And Kakashi is now seriously injured, and was caught by two people from Iwagakure. There is no way, although Kakashi got the riding wheel eye with soil, but it has just been transplanted, and it will not be used at all. But then again, even if Kakashi can use the shaker, it's no use. There is indeed a big gap between the strength of the enemy and us. As for the instant body stop water, it is the illusion of four stop water, standing in four directions, confronting Han. Shunshin Zishui really lives up to its reputation, Han said, looking at Shunshi Zishui with admiration on his face. After fighting for so long, he has never found Shishui's true body. But, if you continue like this kid will be dead. Han sneered, and the man quickly turned into a half-tailed beast. With one mouth, a tailed beast jade hit Kakashi. Instantly, the water's expression changed, and he naturally couldn't just watch Kakashi get killed like this, so he used the blinking technique, and the person appeared in front of Kakashi all at once. At the same time, his pupil power turned, and a huge green half-body giant appeared instantly, protecting Zishui inside. Susanoo appeared. What the hell is this? The appearance of the half-length Susa shocked everyone at the scene. They had never seen such a strange and terrifying method before. They couldn't believe that ninjutsu could reach such a level. Susanoo is not a bad street thing, some ordinary ninjas don't know at all. Is this Susanoo? Han's eyes also showed deep fear and shock. Is this the legendary Susanoo? Konoha's Uchiha clan is indeed too terrifying. This giant is simply another higher level means beyond ninjutsu. At this moment, Han's determination to kill Uchiha was unprecedented. Boom! Under the gazes of everyone, the tailed beast jade shot by Han slammed hard on Susanoo of Shisui, and a burst of incomparably powerful energy burst out. The surrounding ninjas of Iwagakure couldn't bear the powerful energy shock, and they all launched the instant body technique to escape towards the surroundings. Then there was such a powerful one-tailed beast jade, but it was completely blocked by Susanoo. In exchange, Susanoo shook and was hit with some cracks. But when Shisui's pupil strength turned, the crack on Susanoo was quickly repaired. Han's complexion changed slightly, and the tailed beast chakra on his body began to surge wildly, and then the tailed beast jade continued to bombard Uchiha Shisui. Han's purpose is very simple, that is to use Kakashi to contain Uchiha Shisui, and then use the uninterrupted tailed beast jade attack to drag Shisui down. He doesn't believe it anymore. Susanoo can almost defend against a single-tailed beast jade, but it is absolutely impossible to defend against a continuous tailed beast jade. Han's conspiracy is still very effective. In order to prevent the tailed beast jade from killing Kakashi behind, Uchiha Shisui can only stand in front of Kakashi for passive defense. Soon, his Susanoo became torn apart. No, my eyes. However, to make matters worse, while Uchiha Shisui felt that his pupil power was not enough, his shaker eye was also overused. Blood flowed from the inside and outside of the eye socket. If it goes on like this, I'm afraid I can't hold it anymore. Uchiha Shisui thought anxiously in his heart. Han doesn't make many appearances in Hokage, don't you think he's so cunning? What Shisui didn't know was that when he was struggling to resist Han's attack, a figure had quietly appeared in the nearby bushes. Not only Shisui, the attention of everyone on the scene was completely attracted by the battle between Shisui and Han, and no one noticed the arrival of Uchiha Rukin. Uchiha Ryuin looked at Han, who showed great power, and couldn't help but secretly complained in his heart. Forget it, looking at this situation, Shisui may not be able to get the man right, no wait. Uchiha Ryuin secretly made a decision. He originally planned that if Zishui could escape safely, he would not take action or expose himself, but now it seems that his plan is about to fail. Without any nonsense, Uchiha Rukin aimed at Han, who was frantically attacking Shisui, and launched the strongest sealing technique he could so far. Earth Blast. Earth Explosion star is Hitomijutsu, not ninjutsu. It has nothing to do with the level of the ninja, it can be used with perfect control of the samsara eye. The idea that the chakra will be drained as soon as it is activated is also a misunderstanding. After all, which ninja can't control the size and strength of his own skills? Could it be that Lu Ren wanted to seal a small tadpole, and even if he hit a 10-centimeter ball, he would die? That's the joke. In a word, the size of the technique can be controlled by oneself, and the upper limit of chakra determines the upper limit of the technique, that's all. In the face of a behemoth like the Five Tails, all Lu Ren can do is to output all his chakras and try his best. But how big the earth ball he hit is, whether it can be sealed or not, Lu Ren can't guarantee it, it all depends on God's will. With the launch of the flow blade technique, a huge suction force appeared suddenly, and Han's huge body was sucked into the air at the first time. Ka ka ka. At the same time, the surrounding ground began to break apart, and stone after stone was sucked by the suction, surrounding Han. In the end, the countless rubble all converged in one place and formed a sphere. The sphere was much smaller than the sphere shot by Nagato, and it just covered Han, and there were countless cracks on it. Not to mention how crappy it is. But at least he lived up to his expectations and managed to seal Han. He trapped Han Ji-yu firmly inside. Although looking at this appearance, it is estimated that it will not take long for Han to break free, but this also seals the strength of the human column, which is already very remarkable. Such a half-finished shot of the Sky Star directly empties my remaining chakra. This consumption is simply too terrifying. Lu Ren was panting heavily, thinking of it in shock in his heart. He was so frightened that he hurriedly stuffed a military ration pill into his mouth, which made him feel a little more at ease. No, back to Konaha, I have to train like crazy and increase the amount of chakra in my body as soon as possible, otherwise it will be too embarrassing, and I won't be able to use it. Lu Ren said secretly in his heart. Many people say that the use of earth-blasting stars will definitely be discovered, but this is not the case. Now Obito just died, and Heiju did not appear in front of Madara with the will of Madara. Where did Baiju help Heiju to monitor? At this time, Heiju is still staring at the spot. What kind of ninjutsu is this? When Uchiha Rairin was thinking wildly, everyone on the scene was stunned and dumbfounded. Both Konoha's ninja and Iwagakushi's ninja raised their heads, widened their eyes, and murmured at the earth ball suspended in the air. In their cognition, the tailed beast is the most powerful existence in the ninja world. As long as the human column force is transformed into a tailed beast, no matter how powerful the ninja can't deal with it. Unless the same use of human column force to deal with. But who would have thought that Zhu Lihan, the five-tailed man, was actually sealed by this unheard of sealing technique? That's too scary, isn't it? Whoosh! The figure flashed, and the two ninjas who caught Kakashi only felt a flash in front of them, and they didn't react at all, and Kakashi was rescued by Shishui. Then the Shushui Shunshu technique was launched, and he once again incarnated into four Shishui, and shuttled among those Yenian ninjas extremely fast. With screams and screams, Iwakaku ninja kept falling. There were only a few left, either because they were afraid, or because they saw the situation clearly. They began to flee and evacuate quickly, and Zishui did not pursue them. Shisui, what is this method? Kakashi asked Uchiha Shisui with a look of shock. Uchiha Shisui also shook his head blankly. I don't know, but this method is so terrible that it is unheard of. The two briefly exchanged a few words, and they didn't waste much time. They began to quickly check the battlefield, count the casualties on Konoha's side, and see if there were any other survivors. At the same time, they are also looking for the mysterious master who secretly shot and saved them. As a result, there was no doubt that not even a single ghost was found. Instead, the only two survivors were found, Uchiha Rukin and Nohara Rin. The three began to return to Konoha quickly. Fortunately, the next journey was calm, and there were no accidents, and several people arrived at Konoha smoothly. Kakashi, Rairin, Rin, don't go back yet, follow me to see Lord Hokage. Back in the village, before even taking a break, Uchiha Shisui took Kakashi and Ryuban III to the Hokage office. Report on related tasks. Sarutobi Hishin still valued Uchiha Shisui very much. After hearing the report from his hand, he immediately put down the matter at hand and summoned Uchiha Shisui. For the first time since his rebirth, Uchiha Rukin stood in the Hokage office. Unfortunately, the sign-in system can only sign in once a day, otherwise I can try to sign in at the Hokage office. What kind of rewards will I get? In the serious office, Uchiha Rairin was thinking like this. Zishui, how is it, have you found a body with soil? The third generation took a sip of dry smoke, sat on the seat of Hokage, and looked down at Zishui and asked. Kakashi was replaced by Obito with a riding wheel. This is a big event in Konoha, and the third generation was also alarmed. Later, Shishui led a team to find Obito, and the third generation was also very clear about this matter. Lord Hokage, I didn't find Obito's body. Shishui answered truthfully. Of the people who died on the battlefield, a considerable number of people could not find their bodies, but Obito was different. That was the Uchiha clan who had awakened Sharingan. Live to see people, die to see corpses. If the riding wheel on his body falls into the hands of another country, it will be quite troublesome. So the third generation inquired about the situation at that time, and there was no other way than telling Zishui to continue to pay attention to this matter. Lord Hokage, there is one more thing to report to you. After Obito finished speaking, Uchiha Shisui suddenly spoke with a dignified expression. Sandemu was not surprised by this. After all, if he just reported to himself the task briefing about Obito, Shishui could come alone. But now Shishui not only brought Kakashi, but also Nohara Rin and another Jinin. Obviously it was something else. Tell me, said the third generation. On the way back, we encountered an ambush by Iwagakushi ninjas, an elite team led by the five-tailed man Zhu Lihan. Five-tailed people Zuli. The third generation eyes, who had always been calm as a mountain, finally showed a look of surprise at this moment. Even Ren Zuli has been dispatched, so this battle of Yenian is a bit too exaggerated, right? You must know that Yenian's other person, Zuli, left the village early because of disagreement with Toying. Under such circumstances, Yenian dared to send the only person Zuli so easily. The courage is not small. But, can the current Shishui be able to deal with even the strength of the human column? Zishui, you are facing the pursuit of the five-tailed man Zuli, and you can lead Kakashi and the others to escape successfully. I really didn't see you wrong. In the tone of the three generations of eyes, there is a trace of admiration, and at the same time, there is also a trace of fear. The strength of Zishui is too strong. In addition to the extremely perverted illusions of Tiantian, his combat power is also so amazing. Fortunately, this person is on the side of the village, otherwise there will be endless troubles. No, Lord Hokage, the reason why we can escape safely this time is that someone else helped. Zishui said so. Without waiting for the third generation to ask more, Zishui took the initiative to tell the third generation in detail what happened at that time. Sandemu was speechless in surprise. You mean, that person used a very strange sealing technique to seal the half-tailed beast like Han? The third generation couldn't help but be surprised. He couldn't imagine that in the entire ninja world, other than the Uzumaki family, who else could seal the tailed beast? This is completely beyond the cognition of the purpose of the three generations. Zishui, take me there right away. After pondering for a while, the third generation made this decision quickly. That is the strength of the five-tailed man, and it has been sealed. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The third generation didn't have any nonsense at the moment, and called Minato and Uzumaki Kushina and his wife, and led a part of Anbu's troops, and followed Uchiha Shisui out of the house. As for Kakashi and Uchiha Ryuban, the original intention of Shisui bringing them here was to give a mission briefing on the battle with Iwagakure on the way back to the village. But now, Shisui has made it clear what needs to be said, and the three generations are eager to capture the five-tailed man Zuli, so Kakashi's mission briefing is naturally unnecessary. Swish swish, several figures were running through the forest at high speed, and it was Uchiha Shisui and the others. Under the leadership of Uchiha Shisui, Sandemu, Namikaze Minato and others soon appeared at the place where the incident happened. But at this moment, the big ball that sealed the five-tailed man's strength has been torn apart, scattered into several pieces and fell to the ground. The five-tailed human pillar force, which was sealed inside, has long disappeared. It seems, we are a step late. Sandame shook his head with regret and sighed. If they seized the five-tailed shogi and used it to coerce Iwagakure might just admit defeat and declare defeat. That way they could end the war early. What they didn't know was that Lu Ren's half-finished Earth Blasting Star was still a little bit worse. Not long after their group left, the five-tailed man Zuli relied on his own strength to forcibly break free from it. But even so, it shocked Han enough. Even if he turned into a half-tailed beast, can he be sealed? Simply incredible. Lord Hokage, when Han attacked me here, suddenly the earth and rocks on the ground began to crack. Shisui described what happened at that time to the third generation. Sandame and Namikaze Minato were shocked when they heard it. Without anyone showing up, without a scroll and without any sealing items, you can directly seal the half-tailed beast like Han from a distance. They couldn't help but take a deep breath. What kind of sealing technique is this? It's terrifying. No matter who this person is, it must be an extremely terrifying existence. Several people at the scene couldn't help but looked at each other, and they all emptied their heads to think about what the identity of the person who shot might be. But I almost exploded my head thinking about it, and I can't think of even the slightest bit of agreement, and there is absolutely no trace. The only thing that is gratifying is that the mysterious expert rescued Zishui, and there is a high possibility that he is old with Konaha. Konaha, a teenage boy, with a trace of curiosity and excitement in his eyes, strolled leisurely in the streets of Konaha. It is Uchiha Rukin. After the third generation and the others left, there was nothing to do with Ryuran. He and Kakashi Nohara Rin naturally left the Hokage building one after another. Logically speaking, Zishui and the others led a team to look for Obito's body at Shinmubi Bridge, which was actually the task of the Konoha Guard. After Lu Ren returned, he should report to the Konoha Guard. However, as a reborn Hokage fan, now standing in Konoha village, Lu Ren is really excited. Naturally, he must first feel Konoha village. Anyway, he was originally a genin who just graduated, and no one would notice. Report later, nothing. This is Konoha, it's like a dream. Looking at the buildings that are both familiar and unfamiliar, the exotic figures walking on the street, Lu Ren still has an extremely unreal feeling. Suddenly, he became a part of this strange world. Forget it, I was a social animal in the last life, except work is work, life has no meaning. Since God has given me a chance to live again, I must seize it and live a wonderful life. Live a meaningful life. In this way, I can live up to my crossing this time. As Lu Ren's thoughts flowed, his eyes gradually became firmer. In a world like Hokage, either as a civilian, stay outside the disputes of the ninja world, or, as a ninja, rolling and struggling in the rivers and lakes of the ninja world. There are only these two options. As a commoner, of course, there is no need to participate in the cruel and dangerous battles in the ninja world. It seems that life is peaceful and happy, but because there is no strength, it is equivalent to a lamb to be slaughtered. Life and death cannot be in one's own hands. This is unacceptable to Ryuji. What's more, Lu Ren is now the subordinate of the Uchiha family, and is already a part of the ninja world. Considering the embarrassing situation that the Uchiha clan is now in, there is only one way in front of Lu Ren: become stronger. Only in this way can he not be coerced by the Uchiha family, not coerced by Konoha, or even coerced by the world of tolerance. I want to be the strongest, Lu Ren said to himself secretly in his heart. This is not a difficult task for him who has a god-level sign in system. Lord Watergate, it's Namikaze Minato-sama. Lord Watergate is back. Minato-sama, you must be the next Hokage. While thinking about it, a loud noise suddenly came from the crowd, interrupting Lu Ren's thoughts. Lu Ren looked in the direction of the crowd, and saw a sunny boy with yellow hair coming from the intersection ahead. It is the yellow flash that is famous throughout the ninja world, Namikaze Minato. In order to prevent the village's guards from being empty, Namikaze Minato used the flying thunder god to return to the village immediately after checking the big ball of the earth-blasting star. As soon as Namikaze Minato appeared, most of the people in the village surrounded him with excitement and admiration, and welcomed him with great enthusiasm. The prestige of Watergate is really high. Lu Ren couldn't help sighing secretly. No wonder Minato can defeat the third-generation disciple Orochimaru and become Konoha's fourth-generation Hokage. With this level of support, I am afraid that the 3 generations will not pass the seat to Minato Namikaze, and Konoha will not agree. Thinking about the tragic ending of Namikaze Minato later, Lu Ren couldn't help but sigh. Minato is the perfect role of one of the few Hokages Wei Guangzhong. He has a high position and a high level of strength, but he and Uzumaki Kushina still end up in a dead end. This also strengthened Lu Ren's determination to become stronger quickly. The ninja world is too dangerous, strength is king. Yield ramen. While thinking about things while strolling in the courtyard, Lu Ren came to yield ramen in a blink of an eye. Go in and try it. I don't know if the ramen here is really that delicious. Lu Ren hesitated for a while, then strode in. Boss, bring me a bowl of ramen. Lu Ren found an empty seat and sat down, and his opponent beat the uncle and said, "No, at this time, it's not the uncle, but the big brother." Flowblade. Uchiha Ryuin just sat down for a while when a somewhat unexpected voice rang next to him. Hearing that voice was clear and tactful, it was still a girl. Uchiha Ryuin turned his head subconsciously, and after a careful identification, he recognized who the other party was, Yuhihong. After all, Red Yuhi in Hokage appeared as a beautiful woman with infinitely mature charm, and now Red is still in her youth. But it's equally stunning. The Uchiha clan is the most well-deserved largest clan in Konoha, and they have their own clan. Under normal circumstances, the daily life of the Uchiha clan is carried out in their own clan. In addition, because of their arrogance, the Uchiha family looks down on ordinary people, and there are some historical reasons, which have a deep estrangement with the village. They usually seldom go to the village to eat. Therefore, Yuhika felt a little surprised after seeing Uchiha Ryublade. After seeing Hong Yuhi, Lu Ren also sorted out the memory of his predecessor, and he found that the predecessor and Hong Yuhi were actually classmates. However, the atmosphere of the Uchiha family is a little crooked. Although the talent of the predecessor is not very good, the arrogance and conceit of the Uchiha family are not lacking at all. In the class, and other Uchiha clan people are looking at people in the nostrils, and the relationship with fellow classmates is not good. The two of them were just nodding acquaintances. After the ramen restaurant and Yuhika met, Lu Ren just politely greeted Yuhika, and didn't say anything to Yuhika. I started to eat noodles without anyone else. After coming out of Ikura Ramen, Lu Ren wandered around Konoha for a while before returning to the Konoha guard to report. In the afternoon, I patrolled Konoha with the others for a while, and the day's life was over. But this day, Uchiha Rukin did not return to the Uchiha clan as usual. After some thought, he went directly to the Konoha training ground. From now on, Ryurin will have to train in taijutsu well. While on patrol in the afternoon, Lu Ren had already figured out his future plans, and the brief summary was in 4 words: physical training. After all, this is currently the only way to increase the amount of chakra in the body. According to the teacher of the ninja school, chakra is a special kind of energy formed by the perfect fusion of human body energy and spiritual energy, but this theory is actually wrong. Chakra is actually a special energy from the divine tree. The chakra in all ninjas was gifted by the 6 path immortals and passed down from generation to generation. Although chakra is a kind of foreign energy, the amount of chakra in the human body is different. From various manifestations, a considerable part of these inherited chakras are in a dormant state. Through relative physical and mental training, these chakras can be inspired. This is the truth of the current chakra theory. In the entire Hokage, it can be said that few people understand chakra better than Ryurin, but although the current theory of ninjutsu teaching is wrong, it is also right. Physical training is indeed useful for enhancing chakra. Because the class time had long passed, when Lu Ren came to the training ground was empty, and only a few people were still training. Hoo-hoo. Bang bang bang. One of them, a teenager with green clothes, mushroom head, and thick eyebrows like a genetic mutation, instantly attracted Lu Ren's attention. Mitake. This is also a coward of Konoha. Lu Ren couldn't help sighing to himself. As we all know, Hokage is a blood-only world. If there is no blood of Indra or Asura, it is difficult to become a real powerhouse. If you die, you will be a movie class. But there are always 2 or 3 hooks that can break this law. Namikaze Minato is one of them. One-handed flying thunder god has already made him invincible. Mitekai's 8-door Dunjia is definitely one, and even the 6 spots can be severely damaged when the 8-door Dunjia is fully opened. It has been called a miracle. But the current Mitekai is far from that kind of highlight moment, and now he is just a trash who has been ridiculed and ridiculed. Red. It's not surprising to see Mitekai Ryuban at the training ground, but Yuhika is also here, which makes Ryuban feel a little surprised. After all, Hong is an illusion-type ninja. What is she doing to train taijutsu? Could it be that Hong Yuhi is exercising her chakra control, or her chakra volume is not enough? Lu Ren couldn't help guessing in his heart. In Hokage, the principle of illusion is to interfere and control the flow of chakra in the opponent's brain, thereby causing the opponent to fall into a hallucination. The control of chakra by illusion ninjas is much more precise than that of ordinary people. Of course, these thoughts just flashed through Lu Ren's mind. He just thought about it subconsciously, and didn't delve into it. No matter why Yuhika came to the training ground, it had nothing to do with him. Mitekai and Hong Yuhi also looked at Ryurin in surprise. Uchiha people rarely come to the training ground for training. Lu Ren nodded to the 2 of them, saying hello, and then started training on his own. Bang bang bang. Hoo-hoo. For a while, only such voices were left on the training ground. Rock Hidden Village. Shadow Office. Tsuchikage Onogi, who has the title of Onogi of the 2-day scale, is sitting in the air using the technique of ultralight and heavy rock. No way, Oyegi's stature is too short. If he sits on the chair honestly, he is afraid that he will be blocked by the desk, and others will not be able to see him. In front of Onogi, there are the upper floors of Yenian village such as Lois, Terracotta, and Wanya. Of course, Zhu Li, a man with 5 tails, was also among them. Everyone in the office looked very solemn. Canopy Bridge has been destroyed, our material support cannot be delivered, and the ninja troops stationed in the country of grass can only support for 3 days at most. If we continue to attack, we have no material support, and it is impossible to score Konaha. They don't need to fight head-on. Just delay can consume us to death. But if we retreat, this war, we are afraid that we will lose. Lord Toying, please make a decision as soon as possible. Wenya said to Sukage with a hint of anxiety. Others are also looking at one after another, all gathered on the body of Oyemu. Everyone understands that the war has reached an extremely critical moment, and whether it will be won or lost will soon be known. Onogi was suspended in the air, clasping his hands without speaking. He was thinking intently. After a while, he bowed his head sharply, with a look of determination in his eyes. All troops advance in an all-round way, cross the country of grass with the fastest speed, and attack Konoha. Lois, Kitu, and others couldn't help but be a little surprised. If Lord Toying did this, the casualties would be very heavy. Those troops will not only suffer the crazy resistance of the grassland, but also the head-on attack of Konoha. What's more, they will not last long without logistical support. What's the point of doing this? Lord Toying, if you do this, I'm afraid something is wrong, right? Wenya frowned, and expressed his opinion carefully, and Oyegi's plan really seemed to be messed up. Onamu waved his hand at this time, interrupting Wenya's words, and then said, "Don't worry, just listen to me. Our troops have fought long distances, and without logistical support, it is already a failure. The difference is only a few days earlier and a few days later. So I didn't plan to let our troops defeat Konoha's troops head-on. It's impossible. Although I don't want to admit it, I have to admit that when the Shinwubi Bridge was destroyed, we were defeated. However, it's not that there is no chance of a comeback at all. The only chance now is to make a dangerous move. Only by making a fortune can turn defeat into victory." When Oyemu said this, his eyes flashed with light. He was so energetic, and he scolded Fang Chu. "This full-scale attack is actually a feint attack. I just want to create the illusion that our Yenian is dying and counterattack. When Konoha sees our massive advance in the country of grass, he will definitely dispatch a large army to prepare for the battle. At this time, Konoha's guard force will be empty. If my expectations are right, the people like Yellow Flash and Shunjin Zishui will definitely go to the battlefield, and the 3 generations of Hokage will sit in Konoha as usual. When the time comes, I will personally lead someone to sneak into Konoha to deal with Hokage. If we can capture Hokage, we will not fail." Oyemu slowly revealed his plan, and the people in the Toying office suddenly realized that they admired Oyemu very much. Go deep into the enemy's base camp and capture the opponent's coach, what a pride. Lord Toying, will this be too dangerous? Huang Tu couldn't help but ask worriedly. In any case, it is also the base camp of Konoha, the most powerful village in the ninja world. Konoha's current strength is not as good as before. Sanin quit the stage, White Fang committed suicide, and Sarutobi's peak period has passed. As long as we lead Minato and Shunjin Shishui out, we can do a lot. Onogi became more and more imposing. Others were gradually persuaded by Oyemu, and they felt more and more that this method was feasible. After all, Oyemu's strength was indeed very strong. He is not only the only flying shadow among the 5 shadows, but also the only ninja who has mastered the elimination of bloodstains above the bloodline limit. As long as the timing is right, Hiruzen Sarutobi can't stop Onogi's art of peeling off the realm. Lord Toying, there is one other person who needs your special attention. At this time, the Han who hadn't said much, suddenly interjected, "It's the mysterious man who was instantly sealed by me who turned into a half-tailed beast." At the mention of that person, the office fell silent again. Han Zhao reported on his mission briefing on the battle to kill Shunjin Jishui, and everyone, including Onogi, was shocked. They have never seen such a strange and magical sealing technique using a big stone for sealing. Even the half-tailed beast like Han was sealed without any resistance. Looking at the entire Yenian, except for Oyemu who could use the dust escape, no one else dared to say that they could deal with it. This person's strength is unfathomable. Among the information we have before, there has never been any relevant information about this person. We don't know who this person is, what methods he used, or even whether he is a Konoha ninja. This person is a mystery. This person may be a bigger threat to us than Sarutobi Hizen. Forget it, just take this opportunity to see if this person is from Konoha. Onogi pondered for a moment, and slowly said such words to the crowd. Seeing that Onogi had made a decision, everyone didn't say much, and began to discuss the details of this action. Konoha, night. After training for 2 hours, Rukin dragged his exhausted body and returned to the Uchiha clan in a sweat. Although it was getting late, it was still very lively in the clan. The Uchiha clansmen in 2s and 3s chatted and hung out in various places of the clan. And dating together. Lu Ren, why did you come back so late today? Lu Ren, I heard that you and Ji Shui went out to the village today to perform a mission. Along the way, some clansmen who were familiar with Lu Ren greeted Lu Ren, and Lu Ren also responded with a smile. Lu Ren, come back just in time, hurry up and wash your hands, ready to eat. Back at home, a woman who looked very gentle and virtuous waved to Lu Ren with a smile. At the same time, there was another middle-aged man with a dignified appearance, kneeling by the desk and reading the newspaper. These are the parents of Uchiha Rukin, Uchiha Turbid Fire and Uchiha Meizumi. Oh, Lu Ren was stunned for a while, then responded, and according to the house layout in his predecessor's memory, went to wash his hands and returned to the case. Uchiha Meizumi also put down the newspaper, and the family started to eat. Like the family in the previous life, Uchiha Meizumi is a virtuous and gentle mother who constantly cares about some trivial things about Ryurin. Uchiha didn't talk too much, just asked about Ryurin's work in the guards and his training. Lu Ren can feel the care of his parents in this life. This is family. Lu Ren felt a little warm in his heart. After the meal, Lu Ren returned to his room and closed the door. At this time, he finally freed up the space to test his samsara eyes. Of course, it is not to test the ability of the 6 paths of the Eye of Samsara. After all, this is the Eye of Samsara that fits perfectly, and there will be no problems in these aspects. Instead, it is another guess to verify the flow edge. As we all know, the evolution of Sharingan in Naruto follows the evolutionary sequence of Sharingan, Kaleidoscope Shaker, Eternal Kaleidoscope Shaker, Reincarnation. Samsara Eye is the ultimate form of Writing Wheel Eye. Now that Lu Ren has the ultimate form of Sharingan, those low-level forms in the front will not disappear immediately, right? During the Fourth War, Madara Uchiha switched freely between the Eternal Kaleidoscope and the Samsara Eye. Of course, Uchiha Madara is a natural evolution, while the Flow Blade is a system. The two situations are different, so the Flow Blade is not sure, so I can only come back and verify it for myself. Immediately, his mind moved, and the pupils in his eye sockets began to change accordingly. After some experiments, Lu Ren found that he was indeed in the state of the Eternal Kaleidoscope at the moment, but unfortunately, he did not have the ability to awaken the Eternal Kaleidoscope. In addition to illusion, there is no other ability, and cannot open Susa. To put it bluntly, it is the same as not having it. Yes, I am greedy. Some of the abilities of the Eternal Kaleidoscope are extremely unbelievable. How can the system buy one get one free? After the experiment, Lu Ren shook his head and smiled at himself, but he didn't take this kind of thing to heart. He also practiced meditation according to the method of exercising his mental power in the memory of his predecessor, and it took another 2 hours before he fell asleep. Early the next morning, Lu Ren's body had already formed a biological clock, and when the first ray of sunlight shone into the window, he automatically opened his eyes. There's no such thing as a sleepover at all. System, give me. Originally, Lu Ren subconsciously wanted to sign in, but after thinking about it carefully, he temporarily suppressed this urge. The system said, the more you check in at a special place, the more rewarding you will get, and Lu Ren naturally wants to get more generous rewards. So what are the special places in Konoha? Some landmarks such as Naruto Building, Naruto Rock, Ninja School, etc. flashed through Lu Ren's mind, and finally the Uchiha clan and some other Konoha clans. Forget it, let's go to the Hokage building to sign in today. After thinking for a while, Lu Ren made this decision. Anyway, he is now a member of the Konoha Guard, and his duty is to patrol the village. Go anywhere without any problem. After having breakfast and saying hello to his parents, Lu Ren went to the Konoha Guard to check into work and patrol the village. It is worth noting that when Lu Ren went out this time, a large sunglasses were specially buckled on his face, which was mainly used as a precaution. If there is any unexpected situation, when he needs to use the power of Samsara Eye, he can cover up the Samsara Eye in the eye socket and not be discovered by the enemy. It's wartime after all. When passing in front of the Hokage building, Lu Ren entered the system with a hint of excitement. System, sign in at the Hokage building. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully signing in, and getting the reward of Flying Thunder God technique. Namikaze Minato's Flying Thunder God technique. Lu Ren couldn't help but get excited again, and even his body trembled slightly. This is a ninjutsu of the open level in Hokage. It is rude to say that after Fei Lei Shen, as long as Lu Ren wants to leave, who else in the entire ninja world can keep Lu Ren? Not even a space-time ninjutsu like Kamui. Even this incomparable S-rank ninjutsu does not need a link seal, it is simply not too convenient. Haha, after Fei Lei Shen, even if I'm just a submissive, my own safety is guaranteed, and I can still run if I can't fight. Lu Ren was in a good mood, and even his footsteps seemed to lighten up a bit during the next patrol. All the members of the Konoha Guard go back to the headquarters immediately for a meeting. Almost 3 times after Konoha patrolled, Lu Ren suddenly received an urgent message from the headquarters. Could it be, is it because the war has changed? Lu Ren thought to himself as he returned to the Konoha Guard. However, I'm just a stubborn person. The sky is falling and there is still a tall man on it, so there's no need to be nervous. After thinking about it, Lu Ren didn't take it seriously. Soon, all the members of the Konoha Guards gathered at the headquarters. The captain of the guards, Uchiha Fugaku, was on the list, and there were also other high-level executives. But everyone's face is not very good-looking. The atmosphere in the building was rather oppressive. According to the frontline report, Iwagakushi's ninja army is advancing towards our Konoha in the country of grass, and it is very likely to fight to the death. The battle is tense, and our Konoha guards also need to mobilize forces to go to reinforcements. We must not let the ninja army of Iwagakushi pass through the country of grass. 1 to 7 groups, follow me to the battlefield, and 8 groups stay behind Konoha. Everyone, act now. After everyone came together, Uchiha Fuyu made corresponding arrangements. My luck is not bad, stay behind Konoha. Lu Ren is a member of the 8th group. Hearing that he doesn't have to go to the battlefield, he couldn't help but feel a little relieved. It seems that his luck is still very good. Immediately afterwards, Uchiha Fuyu personally led the Konoha Guard Brigade, and a large number of ninjas in the village also rushed to the battlefield under the leadership of some elites. Even Anbu had ninjas drawn in. All in all, Konoha now has almost all the troops evacuated except for the basic defense force that can operate on a daily basis. After all, Yenian village was on fire all of a sudden, and the battle was really scary. If the opponent is allowed to cross the country of grass and come to Konoha's territory to fight, even if the final battle is won, it will be a tragic victory. But these things have nothing to do with Lu Ren, he just needs to stay in Konoha, paddling and fishing. In the village surrounded by tension, Rairin continued patrolling as if nothing had happened. What Lu Ren didn't know was that in the west of Konoha's village, in a small forest. Click, click, there was a slight sound of breaking the ground, and the ground suddenly became as soft as quicksand, and several heads emerged from under the ground. It was Toying Onogi, and there were a few other people including Lois and Kitu Wanya. They activated the spies in ambush in Konoha, killed the ninjas of the enchantment class, and at the same time used the Earth Dragon concealment technique to travel through the ground, quietly passed through all the posts of Konoha, and invaded without knowing it, into the leaves. A few heads turned left and right, and after making sure it was absolutely safe, they all jumped out of the ground. Following them, other elite ninjas kept jumping out on the ground. Yangshi has invaded Konoha, plan the first step, success. Wenya was slightly excited. Okay, let's proceed as planned, you 3 lead people to create a riot in Konoha, divert your attention, and I'll go look for Sarutobi Hyjin. If anything happens, you can evacuate as soon as possible, you don't have to wait for me. I can go anytime I want, but Konoha can't stop me. Onogi said very domineeringly to the Lois, as the only flying shadow, Ono Konoha did have the confidence to say so. Okay, let's go. Following Onogi's order, the Lois and the others all performed the teleportation technique and disappeared in an instant, each walking through Konoha village. However, Konoha entered a state of emergency as early as an hour ago, and not a single person could be seen on the street. Everyone hid in their own homes and stayed behind closed doors. Even some shops on both sides of the street also closed their doors to thank guests. Seeing this situation, several ninjas in Iwayne were secretly happy, and Konoha was so prepared, which means that their plan was successful. Konoha took Iwagakushi's feint seriously. I hope this plan will be successful. Wenya could not help but think so in his heart as he walked carefully through the leaves. At a time like this, as Konoha Hokage, Sarutobi Hizen should probably be sitting in the Hokage building, so let's go there and take a look. Onogi thought so, and used the technique of ultralight and heavy rock to quickly fly towards the Hokage building. It was just that he had just turned a corner, and Oyegi suddenly met someone, who was the Konoha guard. But soon Onogi breathed a sigh of relief, because that was a child at all. The enchantment issue that everyone criticized has been revised, and it was changed to Onogi and the others who used spies to kill the enchantment class ninjas. This is more reasonable. There is no doubt that the member of the Konoha guard that Onogi encountered was Uchiha Rukin. Lu Ren had just signed in and received the Flying Thunder God's reward, and was excited. Who would have thought that he would encounter an intruder unexpectedly? Still a flying intruder. What's the situation? Can you fly? When Lu Ren saw Onogi, he was still very surprised. After all, flying is a very incredible thing for ordinary ninjas. Looking at the entire ninja world, there are not many ninjas who can do this. It just stands in the air without any help, like Oyemu's super light and heavy rock technique. No, this thin body, and that big nose, Pete. This is the middle-aged version of Oyemu. After staring at Dayemu for a while, Lu Ren suddenly recognized Dayemu's identity, and he really broke out in a cold sweat. Do you want to be so foolish? Now that Konoha is at war with Yenian, what is the reason for the sudden appearance of the shadow of Yenian in the village? Even if Lu Ren is currently suffering from such a big problem as samsara I, he would not dare to easily compete with Onogi. Fortunately, I have just obtained the Flying Thunder God technique. If I can't beat it, I can still run. Thinking that he had just received the Flying Thunder God's reward, Lu Ren couldn't help but secretly rejoice. But this fortunate soon turned into a pain in the ass. Because Lu Ren was just about to use the Flying Thunder God to transfer away, he was so sadly shocked that he hadn't had time to make any Flying Thunder God's mark. And Fei Lei Shen can only be transferred to the marked location. This is so. Lu Ren was speechless, but this was not a problem. Although it was too late to mark it, it was still possible to imitate the second Dan of Nika's Minato. Just mark the Flying Thunder God on Kanai and shoot Kanai into the distance. With that in mind, Rairan planned to find Kanai to mark it, but Onogi is worthy of being Onogi, and his strength is much stronger than that of Rairan. Lu Ren's body just moved, and he didn't have time to touch Kanai. Onogi in the air was already shaking his hand, and several Kanai shot directly at Lu Ren. Chi chi chi. The sound of breaking the sky sounded, and Lu Ren only felt a sharp breath coming from his face, which made him a little breathless. Then there is a flower in front of me, and I feel a kind of extreme danger. He couldn't even see the trajectory of those few kunai shots. This is the power of shadows. Strong, it is simply too strong. For such a small shinobi as Lu Ren, it is completely crushing. Hiss. At this moment, the hair on Lu Ren's body suddenly stood up, and the whole body's muscles were instantly tense, entering a state of high tension. He also didn't have time to take kunai to mark the Flying Thunder God, because Lu Ren knew that if he was delayed for a moment and a half at this time, he must be killed by Onogi's Flying Thunder God. At that moment, Lu Ren resolutely gave up the action of taking kunai, and instinctively patted his hands in front of him, Shen Luo Tianzhong. A repulsion suddenly appeared. Chi chi chi. The three kunai shot by Onogi were directly thrown away by the repulsive force, and hit the wall on one side, making a few crisp golden and iron clanging sounds, and 2 sparks of light splashed out. Dayemu suddenly showed a look of surprise. What kind of method is this? Can you inspire that kind of inexplicable power without even needing to connect the seal? Asura Road. Taking advantage of Onamu's surprise, Lu Ren made a decisive decision, did not give Onogi any chance to catch his breath, and directly activated the power of the Samsara Eye Shiradao. Whoosh whoosh. The 3 missiles blasted towards Onogi just like that. It is worth noting that Shiradao does not need to transform himself, it is only the pupil ability of Samsara Eye, that's all. Otherwise, non-scientists will not be able to use the full 6-path ability after awakening the Eye of Reincarnation. And in that era, there were cold weapons and no hot weapons, or was the Shira Road of the 6-path immortals shooting bows and arrows. Another good example is Nagato. Nagato was scrawny and bony at the moment Naruto said he was dead. His ribs were clearly visible, and his arms were only half as thick as others. That was really skinny. Obviously the body is his original body, not transformed. Moreover, Nagato's use of pain to fight has always been to transport chakra from the rear, and he does not fight on his own body, which is even more indicative of this. But Nagato can fully use the Asura path. It is obvious that the Shira Dao is the ability of the Eye of Reincarnation, rather than transforming itself into a mechanical body. Whoosh whoosh. A few missiles arrived in an instant. Although Onogi had never seen such a missile attack, he also felt that it was not simple. Onogi first subconsciously flew to the side, trying to avoid the attack of the 3 missiles, but soon he found that doing so was of no use at all, and the missiles had a tracking function. Unavoidable. What's more, at such a close distance, the missile flew in front of Onogi in an instant. Dun rock clone. Oyemu's expression changed slightly. At this moment, others couldn't use many earth escape ninjutsu in the air, so they could only slap with both palms and spit out. A large piece of clay was spit out by Onogi, and the clay quickly condensed around Onogi to form 3 other Onogi, which firmly blocked Onogi behind him. It was also in this flash of lightning that the 3 missiles of Shira Road slammed into the 3 parts of Onogi. Boom! The violent explosion sounded suddenly, and in the dazzling firelight, the incomparably powerful energy frenzy began to wave away in all directions. Onogi's 3 clones were smashed by the missile of Shira Road in an instant. This is not enough. The powerful impact directly overturned Onogi's whole person. Onamu was like a cannonball, and it bounced back fiercely, and slammed into the wall with a bang. It's unreasonable. Konaha has such a strong person. Who is this person? Onamu's face instantly showed a look of astonishment. The person in front of him was clearly a teenage boy. In this short period of time, he had beaten his dignified figure into a mess. Is this the essence of Konaha? If it wasn't for his personal experience, even if he killed Onogi, he couldn't believe that such a thing happened. What about people? However, when Oyemu settled down, he found that the young man who had easily defeated him in 3 or 2 times had disappeared completely. As strong as Onogi, he didn't even find out how the other party escaped. Fei Lei Shen is an S-rank time-space ninjutsu, and even Onogi can't find any clues. It's a shame that I still wanted to capture Hiruzen Sarutobi, but it turned out that even a teenage boy like Konoha couldn't be beaten. In addition to being shocked, Oyemu's mentality collapsed at this moment. Whoosh whoosh. A few figures flashed by, but it was Konoha Anbu's people who were alarmed by the explosion, and rushed over at the first moment, surrounded Onogi. Immediately after that, Hiruzen Sarutobi also had a few ups and downs, using the Shunshu technique to fly in front of Onogi. Onogi, your courage is really not small. Sarutobi Hizen said to Onogi in shock and anger. No, Dayemu is so embarrassed. It is obviously after a fierce battle. Who else is there in my Konoha who can hold Dayemu down? However, when he saw Onogi's gray face and panting appearance, Sarutobi Hizen felt very strange again. Who else in Konoha has such terrifying strength? In fact, to be honest, both Onogi and Sarutobi Hizen have overestimated the strength of Ryuin, which is far from being as strong as they thought. Facing Onogi today, Ryuin really has no confidence that he can suppress Onogi. Leaving aside the ability of the 6 paths, let's just say that the strongest move that Lu Ren can use now is Earth Blast, and Oyemu can directly destroy it with Dust Escape. Earth Bursts are not invulnerable. During the Fourth World War, Uchiha Itachi, Naruto and Kurabi joined forces to destroy the Earth Blast star that had passed Nagato. Now that the strength gap between Lu Ren and Onogi is so big, it is not difficult for Onogi to break the ground and explode the stars. As for the other 6 abilities, it doesn't play a significant role either. Take Heaven for example. The god of heaven's Shenluo Tianzhang Vientian Tianian seems to be unfavorable, but it is equally frustrated when it encounters a powerful force. After all, it is just a powerful force, nothing more. Can be restrained. When Madara Uchiha successfully performed Infinite Moon Reading, in Tsunade's fantasy world, there were 6 cases of Pen attacking Konoha. At that time, the 9-tailed Naruto and Tiandao Pain fought against each other, and Tiandao Pain used the Shen Luo Tianzhang against Naruto. The results of it, not only did Tiandao Pain fail to bounce Naruto back, but because of Naruto's powerful impact, he directly bounced himself off. Later, when the 2 half-body, 9-tailed chakras were combined, Naruto could directly break through the power of Tiandao Pain's Shenluo Tianzhong without using the nine-tailed transformation. Although these are the contents of Tsunade illusion, which do not really happen, but in the ninjutsu system, it also follows the logic of reality. The fantasy in infinite monthly reading is just that the development of things and the identities of some characters are deviated, but the power system has not changed. Can be used for reference. All in all, it is a sentence: no matter how powerful you are, no matter how powerful your methods are, but if you encounter an enemy that is too much stronger than yourself, you should kneel as well. The reason why Onogi suffers such a big loss in the hands of Lu Ren is that on the one hand, the missile attack of Lu Ren was too unexpected, and on the other hand, the Onogi was in the air, and many defensive ninjutsu could not be used. If it is on the ground, Onogi can use some earth escape defense, which can perfectly block the missile attack of Rukin. But then again, once Onogi is in the air, most of the enemy's attacks will be useless. Lu Ren has the means to carry out air strikes, which is also Lu Ren's ability. Spirituality. After a brief confrontation between Sarutobi Hizen and Onogi, without any nonsense, he decisively bit his finger and slapped the ground hard. A circle of spells spread out. With a bang, the blue smoke came out, and the monkey demon appeared in front of Hiruzen Sarutobi. This is Onogi. Ape Demon's pupils changed slightly. He knew the power of Onogi, and without waiting for Hiruzen Sarutobi to say more, he directly turned into a King Kong Rui stick and flew into the hands of Hiruzen Sarutobi. Sarutobi Hizen held the King Kong Rui stick tightly, and stabbed it at Onogi in the sky. The King Kong Rui stick instantly became an elder, and suddenly stabbed in front of Oyemu. Earth Escape Rock Fist Technique. Onamu quickly formed a seal, and a large amount of dirt emerged from his hands, instantly wrapping Onagi's right fist, forming a very huge and exaggerated mud glove. Then Onamu raised his exaggerated fist and punched it hard on the King Kong Rui stick. Boom! In the splash of earth and stone, the King Kong Rui stick was bounced off at once. Earth Escape. Weighted rock technique. Then Onamu made a seal with one hand, and the King Kong Rui stick that was opened by his punch suddenly became several times heavier, and fell to the ground with a bang. Sarutobi Hizen couldn't even hold it. Whoosh! At this time, Onogi directly swung that huge fist down from the sky, flew towards Sarutobi Hizen, and slammed against Sarutobi Hizen with a thunderous punch. The two sides fought a fierce battle. Boom boom boom. However, at this time, there were also rumbling noises and riots from other parts of the village. Hizen Sarutobi's face was solemn, and his brows were furrowed. It seems that there is not only one enemy. This time Iwagakure launched a full-scale invasion of Konaha while taking advantage of the emptiness of Konoha's guards. At this moment, Hiruzen Sarutobi also understood. It turned out that the all-out attack on the grass country was fake. Leave it to me here, you can go to other places to support. Sarutobi Hizen shouted to the surrounding dark troops in a deep voice, also, find Danzo and Orochimaru immediately. Yes, whoosh whoosh. The people of Anbu were still forbidden to do so. After Sarutobi Hizen gave the order, they immediately followed the order and launched the Shunshu technique to bounce off each other and disappeared. There were only Sarutobi Hizen and Onogi left at the scene. Onagi's eyes twinkled, and now is his chance. As long as he captures or kills Sarutobi Hiro before Konoha's support arrives, then this operation will be a success. But, is it really that easy to do this? Although Sarutobi Hizen is old, he is also the strongest Hokage of Konoha after all. He has all the 5 attributes of chakra, and there are so many ninjutsus that he is known as a ninjutsu doctor. Even though Onogi acted like Sarutobi Hizen was not worth mentioning when he was making plans at the Hokage office, in his heart, Onogi did not dare to underestimate Sarutobi Hizen at all. The battle between Konoha and Iwagakure that took place in Konoha village, with the confrontation between Onogi and Sarutobi Hizen, kicked off in an all-round way. At this moment, Konoha planned, all the important forces were transferred to the battlefield, the garrison force was empty, and Yenian took advantage of it. Soon the entire village was enveloped in gunpowder smoke. The situation is not very optimistic. The Anbu and Konoha guards all fell into a hard fight, and even the old Danzo had to mobilize the elite from the roots. At the beginning, he certainly planned to make the village suffer some losses, and let the leaders such as Sarutobi Hizen and Minato Namikaze have stains that cannot be washed away, so that he can wait for Hokage in the future. But then Danzo really couldn't bear it anymore. If he didn't come out again, Konoha might really be finished. At that time, he would still be a fart Hokage. It's a fool, it's a fool. Looking at the smoke of Konoha, Lu Ren wanted to cry without tears in his heart. Originally, he thought that staying at Konoha would be a beautiful job, but he didn't expect people to call directly at the door. Fortunately, Lu Ren has mastered Fei Lei Shen at this moment, and those Shengren and Chunin who face some other invasions are also calm, advancing and retreating in moderation. It stands to reason that Lu Ren should have followed the rest of the Konoha guard to evacuate the crowd, but Lu Ren did not do that. After all, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to exercise your combat ability. If you want to grow up quickly, actual combat is always the most effective way. Lu Ren doesn't want to be a person who does not practice optics and has a good eye and a low hand. And it's not on the battlefield yet, the army can't make it out of the pressure, and now it's a scattered battle scattered throughout Konoha, which is suitable for practice. Anyway, I am not afraid of flying thunder gods. The only weakness is that the chakra consumption is too fast, so I can only eat more military food pills to make up. Snapped. In some uninhabited corner, he has used the transformation technique to become a Ryu blade of an Anbu masked man, stretched out his hand and slapped it there. Leaving a flying thunder god spell. Okay, there are enough marks left now, plus there are 3 flying thunder god kunai, it should be enough. Lu Ren thought for a moment, took out a military ration pill, stuffed it into his mouth, and the consumed chakra quickly began to recover. Next, it's time for me to show off my skills. Lu Ren moved his muscles and bones, and even got a little excited. After all, for him who lived in a modern city in his previous life, fighting with real swords and guns was an experience he had never had before. Thinking back to the battle with Onogi, although it was thrilling, it was also exciting, and it was exciting to think about it. Swish. The instant body technique unfolded, and Lu Ren's body turned into a stream of light, and disappeared all of a sudden. The gate of the ninja school. Jingle jingle, chi chi chi. The sound of the metal and iron of the blade intersecting and the sound of the flesh being cut by the sharp blade continued to sound, and several figures were intertwined back and forth. After a fierce battle, the Anbu people here have been killed by the ninjas of Iwagakure. There is no way, the people of Yinian are too treacherous. They use the technique of Earth Dragon concealment to travel underground, and they can quietly surround the ninjas of Konoha and concentrate their strength to annihilate. Then use Tulongyin to hide. It can be said to be a very rogue, but very effective tactic. Konoha's defense force was empty now, and the ninjas were fighting in small groups, and because the whole village was in chaos, it was too late to respond to each other. There are already many Konoha ninjas who have been eliminated by Iwagakure by this method. It's done, Tishin, feel it, what other Konoha ninjas are nearby? Wenya, who was in charge of leading the team, said to the perceptive ninja in the team. Tishin closed his eyes and made some sense. 800 meters to the southeast, there are 4 Anbu ninjas, we can use the established tactics to exterminate them. Wait, there is a ninja coming, according to my perception. The amount of chakra is a stubborn tolerance. Never endure. Wenya and a few people looked at it, and couldn't help showing a strange look. The 4 of them were all tacit understandings. Not only is he powerful, but he is also a strong person who has been honed after countless battles of life and death. For them, a genin is like an ant. Swish. The figure flashed, and several people saw a genin wearing sunglasses appearing in front of them. There is no doubt that it is the flow blade. Tai Shan, don't waste time, kill him immediately and go to the next place. Wenya casually instructed Tai Shan. For a mere shinobi, even a perceptive ninja is no problem at all. Understood. Tishin responded, flipped his hand and took out a few kunai, and with a flick of his body, he used the instant body technique directly, and suddenly appeared in front of Lu Ren. Utilizing the martial arts of the upper ninja level, he launched a ruthless slaughter on the Rukin. Court death. Lu Ren smiled coldly, his mind moved, and the ability of Shiradao was used, and 2 missiles blasted directly. At such a close distance, the missile arrived in a blink of an eye. Tishin didn't have time to react at all, so he could only wave his hand subconsciously, using the kunai in his hand to resist. Boom! In the violent explosion, Tishanren was directly drowned by a heat wave, and then the others were directly blown into several pieces, scattered and flew out. Quiet, the scene was deadly quiet. Wen Ya and the others were all stunned. They originally thought that Tai Shan's killing of a Sha Ren would definitely be a matter of hand, and it would be effortless. But who would have thought that things would be completely reversed? That man forbearance killed Tishan with no effort. What was that thing that exploded violently? How could this man be so terrifying? For a moment, Wen Ya and the others no longer dared to despise Lu Ren in the slightest. Chu Dun Tu stalagmite. Wen Ya was the first to come back to his senses. His hands quickly formed seals. In the surging soil on the ground, 4 extremely sharp soil spears instantly appeared around Lu Ren. The soil spear stabbed fiercely at the flowing blade from the 4 directions of the front, rear, left, and right of the flowing blade at the same time, blocking all the retreat and movement routes of the flowing blade. It is extremely difficult to get out of the ordinary instant body technique. Flying Thunder God. But this was not a problem at all for Lu Ren. Before he stabbed himself with the earth spear, he calmly used the Flying Thunder God to perfectly dodge to the side. So fast. Wen Ya and the others were once again surprised. This shinobi technique was so fast, it could even be said that it was so fast that they couldn't even react at all. There are so many of them, but none of them can capture the trajectory of Lu Ren and know where Lu Ren has gone. Swish. The next moment, they saw a flower in front of them, and Lu Ren returned. Similar to the disappearance of Lu Ren before, the appearance of Lu Ren at this moment, the people at the scene still did not see a name. Beast Way. After Lu Ren appeared, there was no delay, and immediately used the ability of the animal way, and a group of psychic beasts were immediately channeled by Lu Ren. However, the amount of chakra of the flowing blade is limited, and the psychic beasts that are channeled are far less exaggerated than those that Pain channeled. The ones that Liu Ren channeled were all beasts the size of dogs, as well as birds the size of eagles. In an instant, these psychic beasts flying in the sky and running on the ground rushed towards Wen Ya and a few people in a swarm. These psychic beasts have their own eyes of reincarnation, just like foreign golems, they don't need to be captured separately. Of course, the flowing blade can also capture contracts from everywhere, but the eyes of reincarnation are enough, and there is no need to bother. This person actually has so many psychic beasts. Wen Ya and the others were surprised again. It is very common for ninjas to have psychic beasts, but ordinary ninjas only have one psychic beast, and this person actually owns a group. This is a bit of an exaggeration. However, several of them are all experienced and powerful Jonin. Facing the siege of a group of psychic beasts, they calmly displayed their methods and responded calmly. These psychic beasts can't do any harm to them at all. Lu Ren naturally knew this. The purpose of summoning the psychic beast was not to kill, but to disturb the enemy's sight and distract the enemy. His real killer move was the Asura Dao. Boom boom boom. When the psychic beasts besieged Wen Ya and the others, Lu Ren also summoned cannonballs again, and mercilessly bombarded these people. In this way, taking advantage of the perfect combination of the animal path and the Shira path, Wen Ya and the other 3 Shang Nin suddenly fell into a perilous and difficult battle. As for their counterattack, I'm sorry, Fei Lei Shen really can't help but let out a single hair on the blade. Boom boom boom. The violent explosion continued for a while, then calmed down. After the smoke of gunpowder had completely dissipated, the devastated land and the extremely tragic scene were revealed. All 3 of the 4 Iwayans Jonin were dead except Wen Ya. Even Wen Ya was in a state of embarrassment and was seriously injured. If it wasn't for the chakra left in the end, Wen Ya would have died under the terrible cannonball attack. Konoha's ninja. Is at this level. Wen Ya looked at the corpses of his companions around him, only to feel that his 3 views were about to collapse. Subconsciously, he looked left and right, and the next Jinin who had tortured them so badly had disappeared without a trace. Call. On a deserted street 3 kilometers away, Lu Ren escaped by using the Flying Thunder God technique, and as soon as he appeared, he began to gasp for breath. Just now, his violent and indiscriminate bombardment against Wen Ya and a few people was still very expensive. There was even a ration pill in the middle. Even so, he didn't kill all of Wen Ya's people, which shows that his current chakra volume is weak. Bingliangwan can't eat too much in a row, and it's almost enough. Next, find a place to hang out. Lu Ren made a decision, quietly used Fei Lei Shen, and returned to his room. He has planned not to intervene in the next Konoha matter, waiting for the development of the situation. Even if Konoha is really destroyed by Yanyan, it has nothing to do with Lu Ren. But then again, with Yanyan's current strength, it is impossible to destroy Konoha, and Konoha will drive away all these Yanyan ninjas sooner or later. It's just time sooner or later. Lu Ren guessed right, and when Sarutobi Hizen realized that he had been caught in Iwagakure's trick, he immediately ordered someone to send a message to the battlefield as soon as possible. Namikaze Minato immediately rushed over using the Flying Thunder God, and Shishui, the patriarch of the three clans such as Zuludi and others also brought people back one after another. The invasion of Iwahidden village ended in failure. Onogi took Iwane's elite and hurriedly escaped from Konoha. Afterwards, the army of ninjas in the Land of Grass also began to evacuate and return to Yanyan village. The news came back, and Konoha was very excited up and down. Yanyan paid so much before, and spent so long, and finally pushed the army to the country of grass. Now that all of them are withdrawn at once, doesn't this mean that the war is about to end? And the winner is Konoha. Whether it is a ninja or a commoner, it can be said that they are in a good mood. The atmosphere of Konoha these days is quite warm. Only Lu Ren was indifferent to this, since he had just been reborn not long ago, and basically had no sense of belonging to Konoha. Second, as a traveler, Lu Ren knew that after the war with Yanyan was over, Karayan was still waiting. However, these have nothing to do with the flow edge. Naruto building. The three generations of Sarutobi Rizao, senior advisors Mito Kadome, Chuan Kaharu, Uchiha Fugaku, and the patriarch of the three clans such as the three clan leaders of Konoha are all listed. Of course, the old thief Shimura Danzo is also indispensable. Iwagakushi's ninja troops have all returned to Iwagakushi, other than that, they haven't made any other movement. According to our information, Yanyan is currently consuming too much resources, and the land is very dissatisfied with Yanyan and no longer supports Yanyan to continue fighting. Our spies in Yanyan village also sent back news, and now the call for a truce in Yanyan village is relatively high. If there is no accident, it shouldn't be long before Iwagakure proposes a peace treaty with us to discuss an armistice treaty. Nara Shikahisa reported to Sarutobi Hizen one by one while everyone was watching. Everyone in the office was also very excited to hear the news from Nara Shikahisa. The more this is the case, the more we can't be careless. Lu Ju, continue to closely monitor the movements of Yanyan's side. If we don't sign an armistice treaty for one day, we can't relax for a day. Sarutobi Hizen opened his mouth slowly. Nara Shikahisa and the others all nodded in agreement. After everyone discussed some other matters, they dispersed. In the office, there was only one person left in the office. The old smoker took out a dry cigarette and took a few puffs, then slowly paced to the balcony outside, but said softly, "Someone." A person from Anbu immediately appeared using the instant body technique, and knelt down on the ground. "Lord Hokage. I want you to investigate in secret. Does my Konoha have any masters with hidden strength, at least at the elite level?" Sarutobi Hizen ordered. On that day, Konoha's elite all rushed to the battlefield. Except for Orochimaru and Danzo, there were no other masters in the village. However, Sarutobi Hizen knew that it was not these two who shot, and even if these two shot, it would be impossible for Onogi to be so embarrassed. Someone else must have started. However, among Konoha, who else can do such a thing? Since Onogi failed to invade Konoha, Konoha has fallen into a brief calm. Rairin worked in the Konoha guard as usual, and took advantage of his position to check in at various special locations in the village. System, sign me in. On this day, Lu Ren patrolled outside the Konoha archives door, so he stood still and signed in decisively. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully signing in and obtaining the multi-shadow avatar technique. Multi-shadow clone is indeed a relatively powerful ninjutsu, but it is a pity that not just anyone can use it. With the current chakra volume of Lu Ren, it is estimated that the two shadow clones will not be able to support it. This thing is specially developed for people with a physique like Naruto. This thing can still be used if the immortal body is signed in the future, otherwise it can only be used as a display. Lu Ren thought to himself, and continued to patrol as if nothing had happened. After a day's work, he still went to the training ground habitually to train physical skills with Matekai. In this way, half a year of work, check-in, and training every day has passed in a flash. In the past 6 months, Iwagakure and Konaha have negotiated many times and finally signed an armistice treaty. However, Konaha had just settled down not long ago, and Kurikan's side began to move again, and the friction between the two sides continued. It was really an eventful autumn. Flowing Blade is quite rewarding. He signed in at the Uchiha clan, and obtained Tomi technique, Amaterasu and Tomi technique, Moon Reading, which complemented his originally nominal eternal kaleidoscope. Now Rukin's eternal kaleidoscope has become a true eternal kaleidoscope, and Susanoo can also open. Not only that, Lu Ren insisted on signing in every day, and even obtained many ninjutsu techniques such as Spiral Maru, Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu, as well as sealing techniques such as the Seal of the Four Elephants and the Seal of the Eight Trigrams. Even such a heaven-defying physique as Baman Dunjia. Even the amount of chakra in Lu Ren's body has greatly increased, and it has completely reached the level of Chunin. Compared with half a year ago, its comprehensive strength is an earth-shaking leap. However, the immortal human body Lu Ren has not signed in so far. The Chinsho clan does not have this kind of reward at all, and the same is true for Mu Dun. Lu Ren can only guess that whether it is the Chinsho clan or the End Valley, there is no large pillar body. But even so, if the current Flow Blade faces Onogi again, he can easily deal with Onogi. After all, he has many other ways to defy the sky. For example, Yudu and Amaterasu, Oyemu had to kneel when they met. Chapter 11. Different from the original Uchiha Itachi, it only turned on the kaleidoscope and did not evolve into the eternal kaleidoscope. Therefore, neither Amaterasu nor Tsukiyomi Itachi can use them as they want, and they can't stand at any time they use their eyes, and they bleed outward. The current Flow Blade, but the eternal kaleidoscope writing wheel I rewarded by the system, whether it is Amaterasu or monthly reading, Flow Blade can be used without any scruples. It is worth mentioning that Lu Ren has signed up for half a year, and in fact, it is not just that he has obtained the two pupil skills of Amaterasu and Yudu. There are also some other pupils. Just like Amaterasu and Tsukiyomi, you can use Ryuin at will. It's just that those pupil skills are far worse than Yudu and Amaterasu, and Ryuin is not very attractive. I am afraid that they will rust in the system space for a long time. I don't know when I'll be able to get the reward of Shishui's Divine Eye technique, as well as the Divine Power reward of Obito. Lu Ren, who had just finished patrolling, walked into Yil Ramen while thinking wildly. Lu Ren, here we come, is it still the same? Handa smiled at Lu Ren very enthusiastically. In the past 6 months, Lu Ren has come to eat ramen almost every day, which is considered a regular customer. The old way, a bowl of ramen. The Flow Blade opponent waved his hand. After a while, the steaming and delicious ramen was brought up, and Lu Ren enjoyed a delicious meal, paid the bill, and left. Broken, I'm leaving. Lu Ren got up, and his opponent greeted him. Do you still want to do physical training? Handa asked casually. Of course, hehe, you are really a Uchiha person who doesn't do a proper job. Hand smirked and joked. In the past 6 months, I have found that this Uchiha Rukin is different from other Uchiha clansmen. Not only is he not arrogant, but he is also very approachable. He also dared to joke with Lu Ren. And for such a long period of time, Ryuin spent time in the training ground to train physical skills, and the whole Konoha has spread, calling Ryuin a Uchiha who doesn't do his job properly. After all, as a Uchiha clan, you don't practice ninjutsu and illusion. What kind of taijutsu do you practice? Are you brainstorming? Many people are laughing at Ryuin behind their backs, and even the Uchiha family has a lot of criticism towards Ryuin, feeling that Ryuin has lost Uchiha's face. For these gossips, Ryuin ignored the rumors and continued to train in taijutsu as always. This is also an important reason for the rapid increase in the amount of chakra in his body. Without him, it's just hard training. He spent all the time that others wasted on ninjutsu, and used it all to train taijutsu. Lu Ren, hurry up and sway the sweat of youth with me. When he just arrived at the training ground, Matekai squeaked and yelled at Lu Ren. He grinned and dinged, and a little starlight seemed to flash across his teeth. In the past 6 months, it can be said that Lu Ren has been training physical skills with Matekai all day long. The two have become very familiar with each other and have become good friends who can talk about everything. Don't look at the fact that at this time, Mate K is still very inferior and cowardly in front of others, but in front of acquaintances, Mate K is completely different. Hoo hoo. Bang bang bang. The two started training in full swing. Lu Ren, I knew you were here. Not long after training, Hong Yuhi came over, looking very excited. In the past 6 months, Hong Yuhi has also come to the training ground every so often to work overtime, sometimes training taijutsu, sometimes training illusion and ninjutsu, and it is also very hard. It was very familiar once and for all. Moreover, both of them are experts in illusion, and they will also share their experience in illusion together. Friendship is not bad. Hong, what are you looking for from me? Lu Ren stopped his hand, wiped the sweat from his forehead and asked. Look at what you said, can't I come to you if I have nothing to do? Kurenai Yuhi rolled her eyes at Lu Ren. Yes, of course, but looking at you like this, it is obvious that something is wrong. Lu Ren smiled, and suddenly reacted, staring at Hongdao. Could it be, your 3 unique cherry blossoms have been trained, right? It's boring, I just guessed it. Yuhika murmured and complained. When she was a child, she was much more lively than when she was older. Boss, you are so happy that your mouth is about to go to the roots of your ears, and it's all written on your face. Lu Ren said speechlessly. How about Rairan, do you want to try this trick of mine? Yuhika looked at Rairan with anticipation. You know, I have to be your guinea pig again. Lu Ren shook his head and sighed, of course, just joking. During these days, he and Hong have exchanged illusions together, and the two sides have learned a lot, especially when Hong learns a new illusion. He can't wait to let Lu Ren try it. This time, I will definitely let you get caught. Yuhi Hong puffed out her mouth and waved her small fists. Okay, come on, then let me see the power of your Sanju Sakura. Lu Ren stood still, took off his sunglasses, and waved to Hong. He is someone who can even open the eyes of reincarnation, so he is still afraid of red illusions. HMPH, you have to be careful, my move is very powerful. Seeing Lu Ren's casual look, Hong was a little dissatisfied. Got it, I'm just pretending to be so calm now. In fact, I'm scared to pee. Rogue, look at the trick. Following Yuhihiko's coquettish rebuke, Lu Ren suddenly saw that slices of cherry blossoms were falling from the sky all over his body, as if it were raining cherry blossoms. He turned his riding wheel a little, and the surrounding cherry blossom rain disappeared directly. However, seeing that he was walking around in front of him, using various movements to test his redness, Lu Ren still stayed still, pretending that he had been caught in an illusion. Haha, Lu Ren, this time you finally got hit, right? Even the Uchiha clansmen got hit with my illusion, it's really a sense of accomplishment. Kurenai Yuhi tried for a while, then laughed happily. However, when Lu Ren was not paying attention, Lu Ren kept making small gestures towards Matekai. Oh, I really don't have a long memory. Matekai shook his head sympathetically, and Hong was once again played by the shameless Rukin. I've tried so many illusions on the flow blade, and I finally succeeded once. After I remove the illusion, I will definitely show off to him. Actually, you can show off to me now. The illusion hasn't been lifted yet. Gah, Lu Ren, you fool. The training ground sounded the voice of Hong that was about to kill. Haha, Hong, don't worry, I won't tell you what happened just now. This guy Matekai laughed exaggeratedly. Feeling Hong's murderous eyes, Matekai immediately waved his hands. No, I was training just now, and I didn't see anything. It's better not to see, my illusion is useless to the flow blade, but it's for you. The red face said, grimly. Uchiha, Ryublade. Outside the training ground, Asma saw Lu Ren playing with Hong, and his fists couldn't help clenching. Akai, I'll go back first, see you tomorrow. According to his usual habit, after 3 hours of practice at the training ground, Lu Ren stopped, said hello to Matekai, and left the training ground. However, this time, Lu Ren did not directly return to the Uchiha clan, but took advantage of the shadow of the night to use the technique of Flying Thunder God to come to the back mountain in a blink of an eye. Quietly, no one noticed. Swish swish. After Hu Shan made a few more moves using the instant body technique, Lu Ren just stopped. System, check-in outside the Orochimaru laboratory. Yes, the underground where Lu Ren was standing was Orochimaru's secret test base. This is what Lu Ren discovered after he signed in and obtained the third-generation telescope technique and continuously monitored Orochimaru for a period of time. Of course, he did this purely to sign in, and he had no other plans, let alone the idea of reporting Orochimaru to Konoha. After all, in the past 6 months, except for some permanent check-in places, all the places where Konoha can sign in have been signed by Lu Ren. He still needs to find a new special check-in spot. Orochimaru's laboratory is undoubtedly one of them. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully signing in and getting a reward for the forbidden technique of reincarnation. Reincarnation from the dirty earth. Not bad, it's also an open-level ninjutsu. Lu Ren was still very satisfied with this. If Senju Hasuma and Uchiha Madara are resurrected, who can compete with those below the 6th level? It is not a problem to sweep the entire ninja world during the Shippuden era. Someone. At this moment, Lu Ren's expression changed slightly. He didn't talk nonsense, he directly used the technique of Flying Thunder God and left the place. Swish, swish. Immediately after Lu Ren left, 2 figures appeared using the Shunshu technique, and it was the ninja at the root. One of them is a sentient ninja. He carefully sensed the situation at the scene, and his brows suddenly wrinkled. Strange, I clearly sensed someone here, why did it disappear all of a sudden? And, there are obviously chakra residues here. Could it be that the other party sensed us in advance and left first? Asked another rude ninja. It doesn't make sense. Even if someone uses the teleportation technique to leave, I can sense the direction of the flow of chakra, so I know where he went. But this is not the case for this person. His chakra is only the group left now, and it has not spread outward. It's as if he disappeared suddenly, rather than escaping. Perceptive ninjas are a little puzzled. Fei Lei Shen is a time-space ninjutsu, not a teleportation using the body technique. How could someone sense the movement residue of chakra? But, there are really no other ninjas here. Kimura, go and invite Danzo-sama over here. The perceptive ninja immediately said to another ninja. Kimura nodded, and soon disappeared using the instant body technique. After a while, another one-eyed dragon with a cane appeared here. Group possession. After Danzo appeared, after waiting for a long time, the appointed time came. Another figure, like a poisonous snake, made people feel extremely cold, and silently appeared in the night. Orochimaru, is there any new progress in the experiment? Danzo asked directly without any nonsense. Transplanting the first-generation target cells is not an easy task. Orochimaru's unique and incomparably hoarse voice sounded. I hope you can speed up your progress. Danzo urged expressionlessly. You must understand that without my care, your laboratory would have been discovered by the village long ago. In this case, your roots, increase your support for me. And the first generation of purpose cells can be compatible with Sharingan. This is just my theory, I also need some Uchiha people. Orochimaru stuck out his tongue and licked his lips. The war with Yenian is over, and the best chance has been lost, but, it's not peaceful now, and it's not that there is no chance, I will pay attention. I still need some other resources, here is the list. Orochimaru handed a note that had been prepared long ago to Danzo. Danzo brought it over, just glanced at it, and put it away, without saying a word, and left with a cane. But after walking a few steps, Danzo stopped again and reminded Orochimaru, my people just said that it seems that some ninjas have appeared here. You should be careful and don't expose it. Really, it's no big deal. If it's exposed, it's a big deal for me to leave the village. Orochimaru laughed. Danzo said nothing more and left with his own people. It's just that neither Danzo nor Orochimaru would have thought that the scene of their meeting had been clearly seen by Lu Ren through the telescope technique. It seems they didn't notice my existence. After Lu Ren monitored the two's every move, he knew what to do, and put away the glass ball in his hand, interrupting the telescope technique. He is not a voyeur, and he is not interested in the secrets in the Orochimaru laboratory. He just needs to make sure that he has not been exposed. As for the collusion between Orochimaru and Danzo, Lu Ren actually didn't want to pay attention. Only one thing, listening to the plan between Dankai Danzo and Orochimaru, they seem to be planning to arrest some Uchiha people for experiments. Combined with the plot that Lu Ren understands and the content of the conversation with Orochimaru, Lu Ren can basically confirm that the cooperation between Danzo and Orochimaru is that Orochimaru helps Danzo and transplants a riding wheel eye on his arm. They carried out the transplantation of primary cells, and the ultimate goal was the transplantation of Sheratun's eyes. I hope they don't attack my relatives and friends, otherwise, I can only be rude. Lu Ren thought silently in his heart. In any case, Lu Ren has been reborn for half a year, and he still has a certain sense of belonging to the current identity of the Uchiha clan. It is difficult for Ryu to remain indifferent to his parents' concern for him for half a year. Ryu has already regarded Uchiha and his wife as his parents. There are also some new friends in the clan. Since Lu Ren has a great ability, naturally he will not see those people who are closely related to him being plotted against him. But the other unfamiliar Uchiha clansmen in the clan, Lu Ren really didn't bother to care. If they encounter the poisonous hands of Orochimaru and Danzo, they can only say that they are unlucky. The next day, as usual, Lu Ren clocked in, went to work, and patrolled. Although the content of the work is the same, it is not so boring to talk and laugh with other clansmen of his own clan. Have you heard that there was another local conflict between Konoha and Kurigakushi's ninjas yesterday, and both sides suffered casualties? Why didn't I hear that Ching from Wuin personally led the team and wanted to give us a hard blow in the back, but was scared away by Zishui? Haha, ow, is that Ao who stole an eye from the Hyuga clan? In front of us Uchiha, he is also looking out for the wind. It's still our Uchiha. Konoha still has to rely on our Uchiha. Okay, don't talk about these annoying things. Who is the first beauty in Konoha? Have you selected it? Seeing that everyone's words were getting more and more off topic, Lu Ren immediately opened his mouth and changed the topic abruptly. Because Lu Ren knew that if he didn't forcibly transfer, it would definitely evolve into a spit meeting of Uchiha's dissatisfaction with Konoha, causing them to have emotions in their hearts. When patrolling, some civilians in Konoha have no good tone at every turn, which makes Konoha's people even more disliked by Uchiha. It's simply a vicious circle. The flow edge has been through many times. Of course it's Yuhi that is red, or you are amazing, Ryurin, I said you run the training ground all day, wouldn't it be for the red? When it came to women, everyone's topic was really shifted, and everyone began to discuss and argue with great interest. That's called a hot one. The unpleasantness of the past has long been forgotten. Uchiha Rukin, stop for me. When several people were chatting vigorously, a voice full of depression and anger suddenly sounded. Lu Ren turned their heads and found that from another fork in the road, a young man was walking towards Lu Ren aggressively. It is the son of the third purpose, Asma Tsurubi. It turned out to be Master Asma. Why are you so angry? A few people from the Uchiha tribe looked at Asma and said with a trace of sarcasm. It's none of your business. Asma gave a few people a blank look and said angrily. Don't be so arrogant that you are Hokage's son. Several Uchiha tribesmen said angrily. But having said that, it's just not forgiving. No matter how arrogant they are in front of other Konoha villagers, they don't dare to do anything to Hokage's son. Don't mind your own business, I'm here to find Uchiha Rukin. Sarutobi Asma shouted at the other people with his eyes wide open. Asma when he was young was completely a rogue. Lu Ren was a little speechless. The middle-aged version of Asma is free and unrestrained, easygoing and generous, unexpectedly this kind of virtue when he was young. But looking back at the plot in Hokage, Asma seemed to be a really bad boy when he was young. He had a lot of quarrels with his father Sarutobi Hizen, and also ran away from home and wandered around. It was like a different person. He came to find me, leave this matter to me. Lu Ren greeted his two companions, and then took a step forward. Came in front of Asma. If you have something to say, just let it go. Lu Ren looked at Asma and shouted rudely. Stay away from Hong in the future. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude to you. Sarutobi Asma shouted threateningly to Rukin. Want me to stay away from Hong? Yes. Lu Ren raised his brows with disdain on his face. Kneel on the ground, please. You are courting death. Sarutobi Asma was furious, and punched Ryurin with a ruthless punch. Lu Ren smiled coldly and punched Tsurubi Asma, as if he was going to fight Asma. But at the moment when the two fists collided, Lu Ren instantly used Shen Luo Tianzhong. An incomparably powerful force appeared in an instant, sending Sarutobi Asma flying. Boom! Sarutobi Asma was caught off guard, and he fell directly to the ground. Swish! The flow blade flashing technique was used, and the man appeared directly in front of Sarutobi Asma, who had just fallen to the ground, and stepped on Sarutobi Asma's chest. With disdain on his face, he said condescendingly, "Do you have that ability?" Quiet. The place was deadly quiet. The people who came and went around the street all widened their eyes in surprise, staring straight at Lu Ren, unable to hide the surprise on their faces. The Uchiha family hit the son of the third generation of the target, and this matter can be a big deal. Lu Ren. You, when did you become so powerful? Lu Ren's two companions were dumbfounded. Sarutobi Asma is already very tolerant, and even the two of them are not opponents. Lu Ren has always been known by everyone for his strength as lower endure, but unexpectedly, he can kill a special upper endure in seconds. It's not that I'm good, it's that he's too useless, Rairan said as he stepped on Sarutobi Asma. Sarutobi Asma used all the strength of his entire body to break free from the trampling of Ryu Ren, but Ryu Ren not only suppressed Asma with physical skills alone, but also divided some of the power of Shinra Tianzhong to suppress him at the same time. It was impossible for Asma to break free. Just like you, who was trampled under my feet, dare to stand in front of me and brazenly say let me stay away from Red. Don't you feel blush? Haha, it's funny. Lu Ren stomped both feet on Asma's body and walked away with infinite sarcasm. How could it be? How could it be? After Asma Sarutobi got up, he half knelt on the ground, looking up at the back of Rairan's departure, with a face full of disbelief. He is very stubborn. In terms of talent, except for geniuses like Kakashi and Shisui, most people can't compare. Now he has been beaten so badly by a small sub-nin by Uchiha. Asma's mentality collapsed directly. Because of the sensitivity of the identities of the two sides, the conflict between Lu Ren and Asma was like a spark, and it quickly spread throughout Konoha. In less than 2 hours, there was no one in Konoha who didn't know that Uchiha clansman who didn't do his job properly beat Asma Sarutobi like a dog. The Uchiha Rukin, who has always been unobtrusive and leaky, suddenly became a popular figure in Konoha, and even became a hot-handed figure in the Uchiha family. After all, Lu Ren severely beat Sarutobi Asma's son, which is really too much for the Uchiha clan leader. Of course, most of the touts of Rairan are the younger generation, such as Uchiha Fuyu and some other high-level executives, and this is a big headache. The Uchiha family has always had a gap with the village, and being engaged by Lu Ren like this, doesn't it greatly aggravate the conflict between Uchiha and the village? It will only make Uchiha's situation more difficult. Uchiha Fuyu called Lu Ren as soon as he got the news. Rairan, you are still a little impulsive. The villagers have prejudice against us Uchiha. You are simply adding fuel to the fire. Fuyu's character is still relatively easygoing. Although the pain is extremely painful, he did not reprimand Lu Ren. Just frowning and reasoning with Rairan. If the village uses this time as an excuse to continue to suppress our Uchiha family. Uchiha Fuyu's face showed a hint of worry. Patriarch, don't worry about this. I didn't leave any clues. It was Asma who acted first. I was just defending myself. All the villagers saw it. How could Ryuin not prevent this? Asma attacked the guards for no reason when he was on duty in the Konoha guards, and even if it comes to the third generation, it is they who are at fault, and even according to the guards' regulations, we arrest them. Up to now, Asma has occupied the righteousness. Hearing this, Uchiha Fuyu's face just got a little better. Lu Ren is a child who does everything flawlessly. Even if the third generation wants to suppress the Uchiha family, there is no excuse. But even so, Sarutobi Hizen couldn't take any obvious measures, but the rift between the Uchiha clan and the village was getting deeper and deeper. If Lu Ren knew what Uchiha Fuyu was thinking, he would definitely not care, because in a few years, Konoha would exterminate Uchiha. How can there be any rift now? This is also the reason why Rairan has no scruples about shooting Sarutobi Asma. After all, Konoha will definitely sentence the Uchiha family to death in the future, and now it makes no difference to offend a little more and less. Lu Ren, don't conflict with Asma in the future. Also, don't go to the guards for now, and stay in the clan to practice safely. Uchiha Fuyu said to Lu Ren again. Lu Ren knew that Uchiha Fuyu was kind, worried that someone in the village would come to trouble Lu Ren, and he would attack Lu Ren. Understood, Patriarch. Lu Ren doesn't care about the tunnel. Since he fought Sarutobi Asma in a grand manner, he is naturally not afraid of all the troubles that follow. To put it bluntly, with the current strength of Rairan, he has such arrogant capital. After all, in the entire Konoha, there is no one who is the opponent of Lu Ren. Even though Lu Ren's usual principle is to keep a low profile and don't want to show off, but just because he doesn't want to cause trouble, it doesn't mean that he is afraid of trouble. At the same time as Uchiha Fugaku and Rairan were talking, in the Hokage office. Lord Hokage, that's how things went. An Anbu member told Hizen Sarutobi about the conflict between Asma Sarutobi and Rukin Uchiha, in full detail. After Sarutobi Hizen heard this, his brows furrowed. The boss was surprised. You mean, Lu Ren didn't use any ninjutsu, he defeated Asma with taijutsu alone. And, is it still a trick? Sarutobi Hizen had personally asked Sarutobi Asma not long ago, but this was a great shame for Asma, and he didn't want to talk about it at all. After a big quarrel with Sarutobi Hizen, he grabbed the door and left. Sarutobi Hizen had no choice but to send someone to investigate. Fortunately, there are many witnesses to this incident, so it is not difficult to find out. However, outsiders were watching the excitement, and just seeing Lu Ren punched Asma flying, how could they see the power of Shen Luo Tianzhong hidden in it? Lord Hokage, this is indeed what the witnesses said. It's not wrong, the Anbu member said in a very positive tone. Uchiha Ryuban exercises his physical skills every day. Could it be that he has really practiced some tricks? Hizen Sarutobi was puzzled. Only such a thought flashed in his mind, and he immediately rejected it. Impossible, physical skills can't be so powerful, could it be? Suddenly, a flash of light flashed in Hizen Sarutobi's mind, and he was shocked. Uchiha Rukin, has the kaleidoscope writing wheel been opened? If Asma fell into the illusion by using the wheel shaker first, then all this is reasonable and easier to understand. Otherwise, how could a lower end kill a special upper end in seconds? And the general writing wheel eye is not uncommon in the Uchiha family, there is no need to cover it up, then the other party is likely to open the kaleidoscope writing wheel eye. Lord Hokage, Lu Ren has suddenly put on sunglasses in the past 6 months. Could it be that he is deliberately covering up his writing wheel eyes? Anbu members also suddenly realized, and then guessed. Although this guess is a bit biased, it is actually close to the truth. What Lu Ren wants to hide is not the eye of the wheel, but the eye of reincarnation. In fact, even if Sharingan is really exposed, Lu Ren doesn't care much, but it will attract the attention of the village, which is a bit troublesome, that's all. But Samsara Eye Flow Blade really doesn't want to be exposed. After all, the Sharingan will only cause the Konoha to vibrate, but the Samsara Eye is enough to attract the attention of Heiju and Nagato. In any case, the reincarnation eye is also the key that Uchiha Madara uses to resurrect himself. There is only one pair in Nagato in the entire ninja world. Once exposed, the trouble is endless. Could it be that if you wear sunglasses, you can still use illusions with Sharingan? Sarutobi Hizen pondered. But he is not from the Uchiha family after all, so naturally he doesn't know about this kind of thing. He can't be sure, but he can't deny it either. However, combined with the comprehensive analysis of multiple clues, Sarutobi Hizen felt that the possibility of Uchiha Rukin opening the writing wheel is not small. You have to think of a way to try it out. Sarutobi Hizen was a little uneasy. As an old man left over from World War II, Hizen Sarutobi knows too much about the terrible thing about writing wheels. You go down first. While thinking, Sarutobi Hizen waved his hand and dismissed Anbu's subordinates. With the relationship between the village and the Uchiha clan, this matter must be done slowly and without any sloppiness. Squeak. Not long after, the door of the office was suddenly opened, and Danzo walked in familiarly with a cane. Danzo, what are you doing here? Hiruzen Sarutobi glanced at Danzo blankly. You must have guessed that I came here for the Uchiha Rukin matter. I believe you have the same guess as me, whether Uchiha Rukin has already opened the kaleidoscope writing wheel eye. Danzo unceremoniously found a seat and sat down. What do you think? Sarutobi Hizen didn't deny this, but asked sternly. Let me handle this matter. Danzo said slowly, as Hokage, there are some things that are not convenient for you to do. Sarutobi Hizen was silent, because Danzo was right, and it was indeed more appropriate for Danzo to handle this matter. After all, isn't the root of Danzo used to do these disgraceful things? Danzo, be careful. Sarutobi Hishin was silent for a while, then he didn't say anything, just instructed Danzo. I know it. Danzo responded casually, leaning on a cane and leaving. Uchiha Fuyu did what he said, and immediately said hello to the Konoha guards, and Uchiha Ryuban, a member of the guards, did not have to go to work for the next few days. With this kind of welfare, Liurin will naturally not refuse. It is just right that he does not need to go to work. He can spend all his time on the training of physical skills. Although Lu Ren is not afraid of the follow-up troubles now, he does not want to take away the good intentions of the patriarch. Second, things are still raging now, and Lu Ren doesn't want to be pointed at by everyone as soon as he goes out. He stayed very low-key in the Uchiha clan for a full week. After that, I went to the training ground again to train. No way, the Uchiha family doesn't pay attention to physical skills at all, and there is no training ground dedicated to training physical skills in the clan. If you want to train your physical skills well, you still have to come to the training ground in the village. Lu Ren, you are finally released. Mitekai, who was sweating, stopped piling up heartily. Excitedly, he greeted the flow blade. Will you speak? What do you mean by being released? It's like I was put in a prison. Lu Ren glared at this guy with a speechless expression. Haha, it's fine if you're fine. But you're really brave, even Asma dares to fight, so I've been worrying about you for a few days. Matke said with a little admiration, and at the same time there was a strong self-deprecation, and he felt some sadness. Now he is ridiculed by everyone in Konoha and bullied every day, but Matke can only be resigned and does not dare to fight back or resist. Not only that, even Matekai's father, Maidade, is also a famous trash man in Konoha. Just like him, he was bullied and looked down upon. The life of the two of them was quite miserable. Not to mention the son of Naruto, even the bullying of ordinary ninjas, Matekai did not dare to fight back. Therefore, the feat of Lu Ren beating Asma was quite stimulating to Matekai. Are you still worried about me? Don't worry, Asma made the first move. I'm just defending myself, and the village will not treat me like that. Lu Ren doesn't care about the tunnel. That's right, but Lu Ren, I heard that you defeated Asma with your taijutsu. Now Asma is especially joinin', is your taijutsu so powerful? Matt K was a bit sour and a little bit shocked. Unlike Lu Ren who came to work overtime for 3 hours every day, Matekai devoted all his kung fu to his physical skills. But who would have thought that even so, his physical skills were far behind Lu Ren. Right now, he is still at the level of genin, and he can't even beat a genin in a real fight, not to mention a special one. Even a chunin can easily ravage Matekai. Akai, don't belittle yourself, you will become a great ninja in the future. Lu Ren patted Matekei on the shoulder and said solemnly looking into Matekei's eyes. Matekei was stunned. He has always been regarded as waste and trash by others, and no one has ever affirmed him so much, or even praised him as a genius. However, Matekai could feel that Lu Ren was not making fun of himself, but that the other party was sincere. Matekai's heart couldn't help but be touched. You are actually a genius. Lu Ren said meaningfully. Genius? What kind of genius am I? Matkei said a little dejectedly and self-deprecatingly. You are a genius who works hard. Akai, didn't you find out? You have a quality that all other ninjas don't have, that is, a will of steel. When others practice once, you can practice 10 times. This steely will is enough to make up for the lack of cultivation talent. Akai, believe me, your future achievements will definitely be stronger than Asma. Hey, what tears are you shedding, big man? Wow and snot, are you disgusting? Matekai sobbed. Lu Ren, no one has ever said this to me, and no one has ever valued me so much. Okay, hurry up and train. When Hong saw it, he thought I'd done something to you. Lu Ren waved at Matekai with a look of disgust on his face. Bang bang bang, hoo-hoo. The two began to train in full swing. After 3 hours of youthful sweat, Lu Ren said goodbye to Matkei and went home as usual. Swish. However, when passing through a deserted path, 2 ninjas suddenly appeared, blocking Lu Ren's path. They wear masks on their faces, either from the roots or from the Anbu. However, Lu Ren guessed that it is more likely to be the root people. After all, Sandemu and Danzo have always cooperated with each other to rule Konoha. The things that are bright and can be put on the table are done by 3 generations, and the things that are dark and invisible are done by Danzo. It's obviously not the style of the 3rd generation to start with Uchiha in such a grand manner, but it is more in line with the method of the old coin of the group. Uchiha Rukin, Danzo-sama, please. One of the pig-face masked ninjas said to Rukin with a blank expression. Lu Ren guessed right, the person who came is really the root. Go back and tell Danzo, I don't want to go. Don't bother me in the future. Lu Ren said coldly. In Konoha's system, the root actually belongs to Anbu. Of course, this is only in terms of the system. In fact, the root is completely Danzo's private organization. And because the root means are harsh and dark, everyone fears the root far more than the dark part. But that's just ordinary people, and Lu Ren doesn't care about the roots at all. After all, the strength is there. What's more, in terms of organization, the root is actually an Anbu training unit, which trains a special tactical team for Anbu. All kinds of activities other than training are illegal. In theory, anyone can ignore the actions of the root, and even go to Sandemu to sue Danzo for abusing his power for illegal armed actions and so on. Of course, no one dares to do this kind of thing. If you dare to disrespect the root will kill you immediately, and Hiruzen Sarutobi will only pretend to be invisible. After all, the actions of the roots are acquiesced by the 3 generations, and the rights of the roots are also given by the 3 generations. But the flow blade just dares. It's unreasonable, you dare to disobey the order of Lord Danzo. Shocked and angry voices sounded, and the 2 root troops couldn't believe their ears. Roots in Konoha have always said one thing, who dares to defy an order? But this teenage boy was so ignorant of his roots. It's funny, Hokage has the right to order me, the Konoha guard captain has the right to order me, what right does Danzo have to order me? What is he? Lu Ren sneered with disdain on his face. Bold, you are courting death. The 2 root troops let out an angry shout, and were almost killed by Lu Ren. Since you don't know the good and the bad, don't blame us for being rude. The pig-face masked ninja groaned angrily, then unfolded the body shine technique, appeared beside Lu Ren in the blink of an eye, stretched out his hand and grabbed it towards Lu Ren. Roll! Lu Ren suddenly stretched out his hand and waved at the pig-face masked ninja, and at the same time, the power of Shen Luo Tianzhong emerged again and beat him fiercely. Boom! The ninja with the pig-face mask shuddered violently, as if being hit by the spray, and the person flew back downside down. That's called an embarrassment. Go together. The pig-face mask ninja and another cat-face mask ninja looked at each other and made a quick decision. Then the 2 of them took out their ninja tools, divided them into 2 directions, and started rushing towards the flowing blade. Do you really think I'm afraid of you? Lu Ren smiled coldly. He knew that the old coin in Danzo must be watching, so he didn't plan to use the power of Samsara Eye. Anyway, there are many means of Liurin, even if the power of Samsara Eye is not used, it is not a problem for the special Jonin to ravage the 2 roots. Exactly, let's try other new tricks of Ryuin. 8-door Dunjia, the first door, open the door, open. 8-door Dunjia, the second door, Examen, open. 8 gates, the third gate, the gate of life, open. 8 gates, the fourth gate, the injury gate, open. Lu Ren directly opened Baman Dunjia to the 4th door in one breath. Of course, he didn't shout out every time he opened the door like in the anime. So mentally retarded and ashamed, Lu Ren just opened 4 doors silently. As soon as the 4 doors were opened, Lu Ren's entire body turned into a terrifying energy center, and heart-pounding energy vortexes were surging around him. The strength of that energy made the 2 root members feel a kind of suffocation. What? This power? A look of astonishment appeared on the faces of the 2 root troops. Swish! At that moment, Lu Ren used an instant body technique, and the person disappeared directly from the spot, and the 2 root members did not react at all. Not good. Only at that moment, both of them felt a sense of extreme danger. Lu Ren had already appeared behind the 2 of them, 2 fists, carrying a fierce energy vortex, like 2 extra celestial meteors, blasting the 2 root members fiercely. After all, the 2 members of the root group are especially Jonin, with extraordinary skills, and turned their bodies in the air at a critical moment. Begin to use the ninja tool in your hand to meet the Ryu blade. But their ninja tools didn't touch the flowing blade at all, and they were knocked into the air by the huge energy filled on the surface of the flowing blade. Boom! In the two extremely violent collisions, the two ninjas at the roots shook each other, and the people were directly knocked away. Even when the people were flying in the air, they couldn't help but open their mouths and spit out a large mouthful of blood mist. Then the whole person was seriously injured by Lu Ren. Swish! Before they could get up, Lu Ren had already opened 4 doors with his super fast speed, and before the two ninjas could react, he flew over. He kicked out 2 feet, stepped on the throats of the 2 root ninjas, and smashed their throats abruptly. The 2 root members were killed by Lu Ren in such an instant. Dead. Dead. The 2 of them, Chingu, were instantly killed. The other members of the root who were hiding around, all gasped, unable to believe their eyes. This Uchiha Rukin was originally a joke of the Uchiha clan. He didn't practice ninjutsu or illusion, and he just practiced some kind of physical art. In the end, this person turned out to be so perverted. Taiju. How can it be so powerful? What kind of physique is this? Danzo was also shocked, his one eye widened. If it weren't for the 2 corpses lying there on the ground, Danzo wondered if he had read it wrong. My analysis and Sarutobi Hizen are both wrong. Rukin defeated Asma by not relying on illusions at all. He really, just defeated Asma through taijutsu. At this moment, Danzo had understood everything. However, even so, there is still some doubts about Lu Ren wearing sunglasses. After all, Lu Ren did not have this habit before. Danzo still wants to try it. Of course, at this moment, Danzo has another appeal, and that is the physique that Lu Ren practiced. If the root has obtained this terrible physical training method. Danzo thought about it and felt that his breathing was starting to get faster. Uchiha Ryublade. Danzang leaned on his cane and walked from the darkness to Lu Ren step by step. His one eye was full of fire. I can't believe that all of us underestimate you. Duanzang, you old thief, are you finally willing to come out? Lu Ren glanced at Danzang and smiled coldly. Danzo was so stimulated that he almost fell to the ground. He was a disciple of the 2nd generation, and he followed the 2nd generation to conquer the world. He was a very senior in Konoha. Not to mention the leader of the roots. Even Hiruzen Sarutobi, the 3rd generation Hokage, was polite to him, but now a teenage child calls him an old thief. Danzo was so angry that he almost smoked. It's a pity that he still wants to fool Lu Ren into the root, and then slowly figure out Lu Ren's physical training method. Take it. Just take a breath. Danzo ordered murderously. Whoosh whoosh. Following Danzo's order, all the ninjas around him jumped out one after another, surrounding Lu Ren in the center. Go. Following the command of the leader of the team, all the members of the root group around Rukin took out a large number of kunai, shuriken and other ninja tools. Throwing it towards the stream blade. Swish swish. For a time, Lu Ren's whole body was covered with black ninja tools, which were airtight. As far as physique is concerned, no matter how strong it is impossible to resist all of them, not even the teleportation of physique. No matter how fast you move, you will always be shot 1 or 2 times. After all, the entire body of Lu Ren is full of ninja tools, and it is the same wherever you go. Flying Thor. But at that moment, Lu Ren disappeared in a flash, and disappeared so strangely and mysteriously. How could his speed be so fast? Danzo's pupils shrank fiercely, unable to believe it. The flow of the blade made Danzo's cognition severely impacted, and it almost broke his cognition of the word, taiju. So far, Danzo has only regarded Fei Lei Shen as a physical art, and did not think about Fei Lei Shen. After all, Fei Lei Shen is the unique ninjutsu of Minato Namikaze, and it is extremely difficult to practice. Since the creation of the 2nd generation, only Minato Namikaze has practiced the entire Konoha. Swish. While Danzo and the others were looking for the traces of Lu Ren, Danzo suddenly felt a wave of energy, and a powerful coercion was coming towards him. Danzo's complexion changed slightly. He turned around abruptly, shaking his hands and shooting out a few kunai. Ding ding dong. Kunai was instantly shot down by the Ryublade, but Danzo also launched the Shunshu technique, and immediately got out of the way. Boom! The figure of Lu Ren fell fiercely, stepping out of a big pit on the ground. Master Danzo! Master Danzo! The other Anbu members were startled, and then each acted quickly, keeping Danzo behind. One by one, they rushed towards the flowing blade again. Swish! Lu Ren also rushed towards the group of root members. With the 4 doors open, his strength increased sharply, and he was much more powerful than a Jonin. It was no problem to deal with a group of root members. After a messy sound, all the people at the root were knocked to the ground by Lu Ren. Dead, crippled, Lu Ren has no mercy at all. So far, only Danzo was left at the scene. Danzo just stared straight at Lu Ren. He didn't expect Lu Ren to be so powerful that he defeated all the people he brought. Of course Danzo could call in more people at any time, but there was no need to do that. After all, this is a dark temptation, and it can't be too much fanfare. You hide really deep enough, let this old man see how much skill you have. Danzo decided to take action himself. To deal with this old thief, it's not enough to open 4 doors. After all, this product is also a shadow class, but if you open it again, it will cause a serious load on the body, but it is unnecessary. Baman Dunjia, just try it here. Next, try Amaterasu. Although the riding wheel will be exposed, it is nothing if it is exposed. These thoughts flashed in his mind, and the huge energy fluctuations on Lu Ren's body disappeared directly. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ren changed from a violent, blue-green beast, to a mediocre and ordinary man. What's the matter, are you out of strength? Danzo was slightly surprised, and after thinking for a while, he guessed. With his vision and experience, he naturally understands that ordinary taijutsu cannot exert such a powerful force. This is completely forbidden taijutsu. This technique generally has fatal flaws. The energy in a ninja's body is limited. The energy that this technique explodes is so amazing that it obviously cannot last for a long time. Otherwise, wouldn't the person be directly drained to death? Try it yourself, don't you know? Lu Ren said with confidence, looking at Danzang with his arms in his arms. Lu Ren's unconcerned appearance made Danzo feel a little unsure in his heart. This person was too calm, as if he had other means. At the same time, Danzo felt very annoyed. He had never been provoked like this before. Especially such a young man. Court death. Danzo snorted angrily, quickly formed a seal, opened his mouth and blew towards Lu Ren, wind escape, vacuum wave. Amaterasu. But at this moment, the ordinary pupils behind Lu Blade's sunglasses turned and suddenly switched to a kaleidoscope riding wheel eye state. Facing Danzo, Amaterasu was launched directly. An extremely dangerous feeling, a life and death crisis, struck Danzo's heart. At that moment, Danzo almost instinctively interrupted the ninjutsu, and hurriedly launched the shunjutsu to dodge, and then he felt a sharp pain in his right arm. Looking down, I saw that a black flame had appeared on my right arm, and it started to burn. Sunglasses do not affect the line of sight of Lu Ren, so it does not affect the use of Amaterasu. You dodge fast, Lu Ren coldly snorted. Danzo's speed was not as exaggerated as the third Raikage, but it was also amazing. It made Tianzhao miss it. What? A scream began to come out of Danzo's mouth. However, this old thief was also a ruthless man who made a decisive decision. He gritted his teeth, waved his sword directly, and chopped off his own arm. Laugh. Blood spurted out, and Danzo's face suddenly became extremely pale. Clap clap clap. Lu Ren couldn't help but clapped his hands, his face full of mocking admiration. That is a whole right arm, if you say it is cut, it will be cut off. Lord Danzo is really amazing, admiration, admiration. Danzo's face was really gloomy to the extreme, and every word of Lu Ren pierced his heart like a sharp blade. He had never been so humiliated before. What a Uchiha Ryublade, I remember you in Danzo. Danzo glared at Lu Ren with a vicious and fearful gaze, and let out an extremely bitter drink. What's the point of dying people? Lu Ren smiled coldly. Since this old thief is courting death, don't blame Lu Ren for being ruthless. Buzz. But at this moment, a large dark cloud suddenly appeared and surrounded the flowing blades. Then it suddenly gathered towards the flowing blade. A bug from the Oil Girl clan. Lu Ren's face was calm. Others would definitely have a headache when they encountered this kind of Zerg attack, but he could easily deal with it. Shen Luo Tianzheng. All of a sudden, all the insect swarms that were close to the flow blade were instantly washed away. But when all the swarms dissipated, the old thief Danzo was gone. You can run fast. Lu Ren snorted coldly and walked away as if nothing had happened. When Lu Ren left, a few figures flashed by, and the people from the roots came to clean up the battlefield, recovered the corpses and wounded, and at the same time withdrew the isolation formation. Soon, the traces of the scene were cleaned up, as if nothing had happened. Not long after Lu Ren returned home, Mitekai also returned to his own home, a dilapidated, small house. Maitke was chopping wood in the yard. When Maitke saw it, he hurried over and took the axe from Maitke's hand. "Father, let me come." Matty looked at Maitke in surprise. He had a feeling that his son's mental state was a little different. During the meal, Maitke and Matkai chatted, and they really found that his son was full of energy. "It's like being beaten with blood. Son, what is your ideal?" Matty asked thoughtfully. "I want to be the strongest," Maitke replied without thinking. "However, your talent is not good, you can't learn ninjutsu or illusion, you can only learn taijutsu." "It doesn't matter. I know I'm not talented, but I'm actually a genius. I'm a genius who works hard. If someone else puts in 1 point of effort, I will put in a lot of effort to make up for it. Under this unyielding will, even if I can only practice physique, I believe I can succeed." Mitekai is so radiant. Matty saw the firmness in Metke's eyes. After a moment of contemplation, he shook his head and sighed, making a decision. "Son, listen carefully. I once obtained a physical training method by chance, called Baman Dunjia. Today, I will teach you the Baman Dunjia. Root base." Danzo sat with a gloomy face, and there was a medical ninja beside him who was treating Danzo. "Sir Danzo, the blood has stopped temporarily, and I have already collected the blood samples. I will cultivate a new arm for you in the next few days for transplantation." After a while, the medical ninja stood up and reported to Danzo. "Go down." Danzo was absent-minded. "Uchiha Ryublade. What a Uchiha Ryublade. This old man has never suffered such a big loss." Danzang gritted his teeth and broke out such a sentence from his teeth. Who would have thought that Uchiha, who is not doing his job properly, actually has the strength of the shadow level? It's hidden deep enough. His terrifying physique. What kind of physique is it that can burst out such terrifying power? This old man has never seen it before. And what about the last black flame? It's also so scary. Could it be that flame is Uchiha Ruken's pupil technique? Did he turn on the kaleidoscope writing wheel? Danzang's brain was spinning rapidly, and after thinking about it, the possibility that Heian was the shaker eyeball technique was still relatively high. After all, the Uchiha Ryublade has no seal at all, and the black flame just comes out of thin air, and it can only be the ability of its pupil technique. If I got those eyes. Danzo's one-eyed eye gradually shone with incomparable light. This old thief has been coveting Sharingan for a long time. Originally, he was most optimistic about Shishui's eyes. After all, modifying other people's will greatly help him to become Hokage. But now, Danzo has taken a fancy to Lu Ren's writing wheel. Shishui's other gods are good, but the cooling time is too long, which makes Danzo quite uncomfortable. After all, being a Hokage doesn't mean that you can get 1 or 2 people, but you have to get a lot of people. This is not enough for other gods. But if it is the eyes of Lu Ren, it will increase the strength of Danzo to the strongest of Konaha, which will be more useful than simply controlling the sanity of 1 or 2 people. Furthermore, Uchiha Ryuan's words. In addition to the pupil technique, there is also that sky-defying physical technique. Danzo couldn't calm down more and more. "Lord Danzo, Lord Hokage, please come over." While thinking about it, the staff at the route came to report. The hypocritical guy Sarutobi Hizen usually pretends to be so tolerant of the Uchiha clan in front of people, but he is no less jealous of Sharuenyan than this old man. Danzo snorted coldly. He didn't even have to think about it, he knew what Sarutobi Hizen was calling him to go. This old guy must have received the news that he had played against Lu Ren, so he came to ask himself the result of his temptation. "I can't let Sarutobi Hizen know that Lu Ren has opened a kaleidoscope, otherwise I will be in trouble if I grab those eyes." Danzo frowned slightly and made a decision. He made a seal with one hand, and then opened his mouth and spit out a mass of soil, forming a soil clone. However, Danzo is not at ease. After all, Hiruzen Sarutobi is also Hokage, and there is a possibility that the soil clone will be seen through. After thinking about it, a vacuum wave cut a wound on his palm and slapped the blood on Tuffin's body. He also performed a special sealing technique to completely seal the blood in the body of the Earth clone, and then he was completely relieved. In this way, this Earth clone fully possesses the aura of Danzo, which is enough to mix the fake with the real. Then the soil clone quietly left the root base and came to the Hokage office. Danzo, you must have completed the test of the flow blade, right? What was the result? Sarutobi Hizen didn't say any nonsense, took a puff of dry smoke, and asked directly. The test is clear, Uchiha Rukin, he has mastered a very powerful physical technique, and even the joinin at my roots is no match for him. Danzo said very cowardly. Selectively forgot the terrifying black flame at the end of Lu Ren. Oh, there is such a physical technique. Sarutobi Hizen was surprised. He originally thought that Lu Ren was using illusions to take advantage of tricks. It's a physical technique that can unleash the human body's potential in a short period of time, but it's just a crooked way. Danzo said deliberately in a disdainful tone. Sarutobi Hizen fell into thinking, and with his knowledge, he naturally knew that there was no way in the world that people could be powerful out of thin air. All such methods must have fatal flaws. Half a year ago, Uchiha Rairin was just a genin who had just graduated, but now that half a year has passed, he has reached the level of Chunin due to his extraordinary talent. And it is impossible for a Chunin to be able to break out the physical skills of the upper ninja level. Then, did he turn on the kaleidoscope writing wheel? Sarutobi Hizen asked again. He hasn't used illusions from beginning to end. Danzo, the old thief, replied evasively. It's not a lie, but it's misleading. Lu Ren originally thought that after he destroyed one of Danzo's arms with Amaterasu, the secret of his writing round eyes would be exposed. But who would have thought that several days have passed, and there is no movement at all? It was as if he had never used Amaterasu against Danzo a few days ago. It can't be because I wear sunglasses. Danzo can't see the changes in my pupils, and can't guess that Amaterasu is a kind of pupil technique. Lu Ren couldn't help but secretly complained, obviously Danzo couldn't be that stupid. Then think about Danzang's obsession with Sharingan, and Lu Ren will soon be able to understand Danzang's intentions. This old coin deliberately concealed my writing wheel eye, could it be? Did it take a fancy to my writing wheel eye? Thinking of this, a cold light flashed in Lu Ren's eyes. If Danzo really didn't know what to do, he would kill Danzo even if he killed the roots. Unconsciously, Lu Ren's footsteps stopped, and his figure stopped in front of the memorial tablet. System, sign in here. Lu Ren entered the system and signed in. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully signing in and getting a reward, Flame Fan. This reward is an item reward, which has been stored in the system space, and the host can view it at any time. The Flame Fan, commonly known as the Uchiha Fan, is Madara's unique weapon. It is made from a part of the divine tree and can use the famous move, Uchiha Rebound. Madara used this trick to bounce back Naruto's tail beast Jade, which can be said to be a very powerful weapon. However, after Madara Uchiha's death, the fan fell into the hands of Obito's or Wuzai. After Madara was resurrected in the future, it fell into Madara's hands again. This thing was taken away when Madara Uchiha left Konoha. At this time, it is not suitable to take it out. It seems that it can only be sealed in the system space for a while. After signing in front of the memorial monument, Lu Ren continued to patrol the village, and the day's work was over in a blink of an eye. As usual, Lu Ren planned to go to Yil Ramen for dinner, and then go to the training ground to train. But halfway through, Lu Ren was stopped by someone. Sunset Red. Lu Ren, are you all right? Kurenai Yuhi looked up and down Rairin, as if to see if Rairin was injured. Lu Ren knew what Hong meant. He shrugged his shoulders, and his face was relaxed and speechless. Every one of you is like this, you look down on me too much. It seems that Asma Sarutobi can really treat me like that. Thank goodness, it looks like you're really fine. Hong breathed a sigh of relief. Of course I'm fine. Didn't you hear the rumors that Asma was beaten like a dog by me? Lu Ren said with a smile. That's why I think it's incredible. Lu Ren, you don't have a writing wheel, right? Hong Pao asked in surprise. She and Sarutobi Hizen had the same guess, otherwise, why would you miss me every time I use illusions on you? Do you know what the writing wheel eye of our Uchiha people is? Simply put, it is the extreme of yin escape. Yin escape means spiritual power. Even if we Uchiha clansmen don't have a riding wheel, but the spiritual power is stronger than ordinary people, it is naturally not easy to fall into illusion. Lu Ren was serious about nonsense to Hong, and when Hong heard such a professional theory, he was stunned by Lu Ren. Then why are you wearing sunglasses? Hong asked again. I'm not afraid of your jokes. When I first went to the battlefield, I was actually very scared. My eyes were full of fear. But the more this is the case, the more the enemy will attack me first. I simply put on sunglasses so that the enemy can't easily perceive my fear. Not only that, but wearing sunglasses makes me seem unfathomable. With a high-level demeanor, don't you think I'm unfathomable? PFF'd. Hong almost burst out laughing. You are really a wonderful Uchiha clan. The two talked and laughed for a few words, and Hong Jung looked straight. Lu Ren, I'm sorry, I didn't expect that I would cause you such a big trouble. While apologizing, Hong didn't forget to curse Asma. That Asma is so hateful, how could he do such a thing? He's just a hooligan and a villain. Lu Ren was happy, and Hong cursed Asma. This is really interesting. But seeing Hong's disgust with Asma so much now, Lu Ren couldn't help slandering in his heart. Wouldn't this couple be broken up by himself? Asma, your wife, I will keep her. If you really want to apologize to me, then invite me to eat barbecue. Lu Ren said with a smile, I am happy to eat, so I will forgive you. Okay, of course there's no problem. You helped me practice illusion, and I was just about to invite you to dinner, thank you. The red eyes lit up, and he agreed. Let's go, I'll slaughter you today. Lu Ren was not polite to Hong, let's call Akai too. No problem. Hong naturally had no objection. When Lu Ren and Hong called Akai, the three went to the barbecue shop, ordered some drinks, ordered some barbecue, talked and laughed, and ate and drank. The atmosphere was quite harmonious. There is a feeling of having a meal with friends in a previous life. Shinwubi Bridge Underground, Secret Base. Hoo-hoo. Bang bang bang. A poop-faced Baiju was training in physical combat with a boy about the same age as Lu Ren. If Lu Ren is here, you will recognize it. That big face change is the best second in Baiju, and Fei who loves to draw poop especially. And that boy was Obito, who was searched by Konoha for a long time to no avail, and was deemed dead. After Obito was rescued by Madara Uchiha, after half a year of recovery training, he has basically recovered. I must restore my strength as soon as possible, and look for Kakashi and the others as soon as possible. Obito had such a crazy idea in his heart. This idea is the driving force that supports him to continue training from a disabled person to this level. Obito has been up until now, and his mind is full of Kakashi, Lin, and Konoha, and there is absolutely no way for me to use it. Fortunately, I was already prepared. Now Obito has almost recovered, and my arrangements can be implemented. Obito, when you see the woman you cared about most died at the hands of your best brother, I believe that you will complete the transformation. Madara Uchiha, who was already old and was about to die at any time, looked at Obito, who was training desperately to return to Konoha, and thoughts flashed in his mind one by one. Go and inform Suiying, let him immediately follow the plan, send troops to attack Konoha, and capture Nohara Lin. Be careful, be sure to catch alive. Madara Uchiha ordered casually. Understood. A Baiju emerged from the ground, and after responding, sank into the ground again. Obito, who is immersed in training, is ignorant of everything. Now, he is full of hope for his future. When he thought that he could return to Kakashi and Rin's side as soon as possible, Obito felt that his body was full of energy. Konaha, barbecue restaurant. Crackling crackling. Zzz. This is the crackling sound of charcoal burning to the extreme, and the unique sound of barbecue grilled at high temperature on an iron plate. It's really delicious. I remember the last time I ate barbecued meat, it was a year ago. Mitekai gulps the barbecued meat into his mouth, completely enjoying the charm of Chu Dao Dingji. It's not an exaggeration to say that Mitekai is really not an exaggeration. After all, his father, Maidade, is a man who is ridiculed by everyone. Basically, he can't receive any tasks and is very poor. Then you can eat more and eat harder, it doesn't matter, I didn't spend the money anyway. Lu Ren said arrogantly, and slapped the table boldly. Boss, have another. You're really not being polite to me. Red and White gave Lu Ren a glance. The three of them were eating and drinking, talking and laughing, and it was so lively. After a good meal, Hong went to check out, and the three of them pushed the door and walked out, planning to go together and go to the training ground to continue working overtime. However, what a few people didn't expect was that when they just walked out, they found that there was a very thick fog on the street outside. Why is it foggy all of a sudden? Yeah, what a big fog. Everyone felt a little surprised by this, but they didn't take it to heart. After all, the fog was just a normal weather. Uncommon, but normal. In fact, Lu Ren didn't take it to heart at the beginning, but soon, Lu Ren gradually felt that something was wrong. Because the fog is rising too fast. They went out to the street, but it was only a few minutes, and the fog was several times thicker than before. Visibility was only a few meters. This fog seems a little wrong. Lu Ren's brows could not help but wrinkle slightly. Isn't it just fog? What's wrong? Matt K asked with disapproval. I hope I think too much. Lu Ren shrugged. The fog in Konoha was a bit abrupt, but not many people really took it to heart. But no one knows that outside Konoha's door, in the same white mist, there are a group of ninjas standing. All of them are Kurikage ninjas. The 7 people at the head are of different heights, shorts, fats and thins. All of them are dressed in a bit weird and recognizable. Each of them holds a majestic sword in their hands. If someone saw these 7 people, they would definitely show a look of incomparable surprise and incomparable nervousness. Because these 7 people are famous in the entire ninja world. They are Wyan's elite special combat team, the 7 members of the ninja sword. Each of the 7 people is a Shang ninja, and their own strength is extremely strong, and they have a ninja knife that matches their own, which is even more powerful. Together, 7 people are enough to capture a small country overnight. But now, the 7 people have teamed up outside Konoha village. Behind the 7 people, there is a team of elite Anbu squads, but they are all hidden in the thick fog, except for the people who are hidden in the fog, no one else can see it at all. Is the order clear? One of the 7 people, Zigwashan Pufferfish, looked ahead and said to the Wuyin people. The 7 of us diverted our attention in Konoha and created chaos. You should take the opportunity to arrest the girl named Nohara Rin. Remember, this mission is an arrest mission. If it is discovered by Konoha ninja, the main thing is to disrupt and transfer, and don't fight with it. Lord Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost, we understand. In the fog behind him, there were a few mechanical answers without any expression. Then the few of us, let's kill them in Konoha. My beheading sword is already hungry. Loquat Shazang slammed the beheading sword on his shoulders, and his voice was cold and authentic. Start action. Zigwashan Pufferfish gave an order. Whoosh whoosh. One after another, the sound of breaking through the sky sounded, and those Anbu ninjas in the thick fog began to perform the blinking technique and approached Konoha. What's the matter? The weather has changed so fast, and there is such a big fog for no reason. Who said no? The sun hasn't set yet, I don't know what's going on, The 2 ninjas on duty at the door of Konoha were wondering, and in the thick fog they each stretched out a hand silently, covering their mouths tightly. Chi. At the same time, 2 sharp knives slashed down their throats. In the blood splattered, the 2 Konoha ninjas were silently killed. The elite Anbu ninja sneaked in quietly under the cover of the thick fog. Of course, Konoha's ninjas are not vegetarians, and they soon realized that something was wrong with the fog. After some investigation, it was found that the sudden appearance of the fog was not accidental, but came from the hidden mist technique. Konoha, this has been sneaked in by Kurikan's secret. The news was quickly reported, and Hiruzen Sarutobi was shocked and furious. Some time ago, Onogi just brought people to invade Konoha, but now it is Kurayan again. As Konoha of the first village in the ninja world, is he so easy to bully? Sarutobi Hizen immediately summoned the manpower and started ordering the arrest of the infiltrating Kurigakure ninjas. However, Mist Hidden's Mist Hidden technique, which can use the vast dense fog created by the water escape, has a strong visual shielding effect, which is too convenient for sneaking in. Once the general ninja's sight is blocked, unless some strong people can perceive the chakra fluctuations of others, it is difficult to detect the movements of the Kurikaku ninja. When Sarutobi Hizen, and some other powerful Jonin, teamed up to use the technique of passing the wind to blow away the fog of Kurigakushi. The people of Hidden Mist have already completed their infiltration, and they are scattered and hidden in every corner of Konoha. What's the matter? Why did the fog disperse again? Yeah, it's a little too weird. This fog is definitely unusual. Maybe something happened. After exploring the thick fog for a while, Lu Ren, Mitekai, and Yuhika Kane, no matter how stupid they are, now understand that this fog must not be an ordinary fog. The village has also become so quiet. No, there seems to be a sound of fighting ahead. The expressions of several people changed slightly, and they hurriedly ran towards the front, wanting to check what happened. But just ran out of the intersection, turned a corner, and came to the birthplace of the sound, and several people couldn't help but be stunned. I saw 7 tall figures holding various large knives, walking lazily, like Konaha, as if they were their own village. Several people are not blind, and they recognize it at a glance. The 7 people in front of them are not people from Konaha at all. Who are you? Why are you coming to our Konaha? Hong Yuhi stared at the 7 people in front of her, and asked in a stern voice. Ninja Knife 7. Red, they are Ninja Knife 7. Mitekai couldn't help swallowing a mouthful of saliva, only to feel his whole forehead exploded. These are 7 incomparably powerful Shang Nin. Each of them can kill all 3 of them in seconds. Now there are 7 in full. Ninja Knife. 7 people. Hong also gasped, his face suddenly covered with sweat. She never imagined that such a god-level person would break into the village and be met by them. Yeah, all the little ghosts in other villages know our name, so are we already so famous? Loquat Shazang said a little surprised. However, he snorted coldly after following him. His voice was very cold. My beheading knife has a small gap, and I just drank the blood of several of you, so that the iron of the knife will grow again. Red Yuhi and Mitekai Chrysanthemum instantly tightened. Only Lu Ren's face was calm, and there was even time to slander. Is this the battle in which Matde killed 4 ninja swordsmen and 7 people in the original Hokage? However, due to the butterfly effect, it was Ebisu and Shiranui Xuanwo who should have been beside Mitekai at this moment. Now it has become himself and Yuhika. Matde, who had arrived in time, now doesn't know if he will be able to arrive in time. But it doesn't matter, anyway, with Lu Ren's current strength, even if it is a group of 7 people, it is not enough to watch. What to do? The 3 of us can't be their opponents at all. Otherwise, let's withdraw immediately, and report the news as soon as possible. Mitekai and Yuhika were both discussing in a low voice nervously. Escape, hee, if the little devils escape from us, we won't have to mess around in the future. Loquat Shazang said sarcastically. Swish. Then this guy directly carried the beheading sword and charged towards the 3 men aggressively. This mist-hidden invasion was specifically based on the first time Ghost Shark and Itachi returned to Konoha. At that time, it was the Ghost Shark who used the fog concealment technique to create a thick fog at the entrance of the village, which affected the sight of the guards, and then swaggered to the door of Konoha. I was completely shocked by the other party's aura. The huge fear made my body seem to freeze. What to do? Are you going to die here? Mitekai and Yuhi Kane are now only the cultivation base of the ninja, and facing the strength of the Loquat Juzo, which is far stronger than theirs, it can be said that they are directly scared. Almost pissed. During the Chunin exam, even a super genius like Sasuke was too frightened to move when he first encountered Orochimaru. Not to mention Mitekai and Kurenai Yuhi. These 2 people are a taijutsu ninja and an illusion ninja, and they are much worse than Sasuke. It's human nature to freeze. Loquat Shazang's speed was very fast, and in a blink of an eye, he came to the front of the 3 people. This guy actually wanted to kill 3 people at the same time with 1 knife. Swish. But at that moment, the 3 little ghosts who were about to become the ghosts of the sword turned into a stream of light and disappeared in an instant. Boom. Loquat Shazang's beheading sword slashed directly into a tree with thick thighs, and instantly cut it off. And the figures of the 3 little ghosts reappeared in another direction. Next to the 3 little ghosts, there was another young man wearing sunglasses. Obviously, it was the young man who took action just now and saved the 3 little devils. What? How come? Originally, the group of 7 people who were still holding the ninja swords to watch the fun, watch the good show, and play casually, were all surprised. In that instant, taking 3 people to avoid the slash of Loquat Shizo, they thought that even themselves, they couldn't do it at all. Who is this mysterious man? At the same time, they couldn't help but subconsciously glanced at Lu Ren for no other reason. Both of them also wore sunglasses. Of course, everyone just glanced at it subconsciously, and didn't think that Lu Ren had anything to do with the mysterious man. It's just a human visual subconscious reaction. After all, wearing sunglasses doesn't mean anything. But what no one knows is that the person who appeared mysteriously is actually Uchiha Ryuban himself. And the Lu Ren with Hong and Akai is just a clone created by Lu Ren using the clone technique. When the fog enveloped Konoha, Lu Ren felt something was wrong. Just in case, he took the opportunity to replace it, and neither Hong nor Kai noticed it at all. Facts have proved that the flow blade is indeed prescient, and that kind of operation comes in handy now. This person doesn't look simple. His blood should taste very good, right? Lo Kuat Shazang snorted coldly, and mentioned again that he rushed towards Lu Ren. Amaterasu. Naturally, Lu Ren was not polite, and launched his super pupil technique directly at Lo Kuat Shazang. Lo Kuat Shazang, who was in action, suddenly burst into flames with black flames. What? Lo Kuat Shazang immediately fell to the ground and screamed. No matter how he struggled or rolled over, it would have no effect. The black flame was not affected at all. It was just a few breaths of effort, and the Lo Kuat Shazang stopped moving, and was burned into nothingness by the black flames. Not even a scum was left. Only the headless beheading sword lay alone on the ground. The scene suddenly became extremely deadly, and the other 7 people including the watermelon mountain pufferfish ghost almost glared out their own eyeballs, and they couldn't believe their eyes at all. That's the Lo Kuat Shazang, and he just died like that. That black flame is terrifying. What kind of shit is that? Who made it again? The remaining 7 ninja swordsmen were nervous and shocked, and they all held the big swords in their hands tightly one by one in a state of alertness. At the same time, he also looked around with great vigilance, and finally his eyes fell on the mysterious man. The most likely person to shoot is this mysterious person, and there is no other possibility. Lu Ren didn't say much, just casually looking at one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, he activated Amaterasu again. What? Black Holea also instantly burned with black flames, fell directly to the ground, and rolled over. It's him, it's his hand. Hurry up and kill him together. The watermelon mountain puffer ghost shouted angrily for sure. The bizarre black flames appeared twice, both when the mysterious man turned his head to look. This matter has been confirmed, that black flame must be done by this person. The remaining 5 people began to fly towards Uchiha Rukin from all directions. 5 big knives, even from different directions, slashed towards Lu Blade. Swish. However, at that moment, Lu Ren's body disappeared like a ghost again, and the 5 big knives slashed directly into the ground, slashing the ground into a hole. He can't be so fast. The 7 ninja swordsmen were all shocked. They are all Shang ninjutsu, and they are top-notch in all aspects of taijutsu, but this person's instant body technique is so close to the point that they can't catch it. Still with 3 people, not even a movie can do that. What? Just as a surprise, another 7 people with ninja knives fell to the ground screaming. It turned out that Lu Ren quietly used the Flying Thunder God to appear in another direction, and once again used Amaterasu on one person. A few people were suddenly startled. Chi-Chi launched the Shunshu technique, and each hid behind the bunker for the first time, and no longer dared to be exposed in front of Lu Ren. That terrifying black flame is too weird. It seems that it can be activated at a glance. You guys go first, leave this to me. Ryoran stood there calmly and said to Matekai and Yuhika. But Senior, you, Hong, Akai, Senior is right, it's a drag for us to stay here, it's better to leave immediately. Lu Ren's clone said to the 2 of them calmly and rationally. Red, Lu Ren is right, let's get out of here right away. Matekai also nodded heavily. At the moment, the 3 of them quickly launched the instant body technique and disappeared. The 7 ninja swordsmen did not stop them, and let the 3 little ghosts leave. Now to them, a few little ghosts are irrelevant at all. This mysterious man is the most important. The 7 people of the ninja sword are all turtles with their heads shrinking. After Hong Yuhi and the others left, Lu Ren sneered at the 7 ninja swordsmen, with an attitude of how arrogant it was. The 7 ninja swordsmen were so angry that they wanted to kill people, but because of the power of the flowing blade, they did not dare to act rashly. I really thought you couldn't get out, so I couldn't help you. Lu Ren smiled coldly. He turned his hand at this time, and suddenly took out a Flying Thunder God Kuulai, shaking his hand and shooting at the surroundings. Jingle jingle. Fei Lei Shen Kue suddenly shot all over the surrounding environment. What is he doing? The 7 ninja swordsmen looked like a stunner, and some didn't quite understand Lu Ren's behavior. Do you want to force us out with this level of attack? What a fool's dream. And there's not even the slightest bit of headshot. Are you sure it's not a joke? 108,000 miles away, okay. Swish. But just when the 7 ninja swordsmen were stunned, Uchiha Ryoto had disappeared. And in the next moment, it appeared in the place behind one of the 7 ninja swordsmen. Not good. An extremely unpleasant feeling flashed in the hearts of the 7 people of the ninja sword, and before they had time to do anything, a blazing black flame burned on their bodies. After all, no matter how fast a person's movements are, can they be faster than sight? What? The remaining 7 people of ninja sword were all shocked. How could this be possible? The places where they are invisible are scattered, the distance is relatively far, and there are obstacles in the middle. Even if it is a powerful teleportation technique, it is impossible to teleport directly from the other side to behind them. It has to go through multiple consecutive teleport turnovers. And when the other party does that, the 7 ninja swordsmen will naturally not sit still, but will also take corresponding measures. But who would have thought that the other party would teleport away all of a sudden? That's not the instant body technique, it's the technique of Flying Thunder God. With a strong look of shock, the watermelon mountain puffer fish glanced out of the corner of his eye and saw the technique on the handle of the kunai inserted around him, and he reacted instantly. Involuntarily screamed out. It's no wonder that the other party's instant body technique is so defiant and weird. After a long time, it is not the instant body technique, but the Flying Thunder God technique. Yellow flash, it's yellow flash. A group of 7 ninja knives subconsciously shouted in shock and anger. After all, the technique of Flying Thunder God is a yellow flashing business card. But soon everyone was confused again. Isn't yellow flash yellow hair? And I have never heard that the yellow flash has such a terrible and strange black flame method. Is it? It was the yellow flash that used the transformation technique. Or is there someone else who is also proficient in flying Thor? No one can really be sure what the answer is, and reality doesn't have time for them to think that way. Because Lu Ren continued to use the Flying Thunder God and Amaterasu to kill them mercilessly. As long as you throw a few Flying Thunder God kunai, it doesn't matter how subtle the ninja swordsman's escape is, unless they are hiding in a 360-degree place with no dead ends, Liu Ren will always be able to shoot kunai at them. The empty door. Then, in an instant, he ran away and took a look. The lives of a ninja sword 7 people were mercilessly harvested. Simply not too easy. What? 2 more screams came out in succession. So far, the 7 ninja swordsmen have killed 5 people. The remaining 2 people were all terrified, and they no longer had the courage to fight with Lu Ren. They each started to flee. Lu Ren did not chase after him, but turned around and quickly put away all the Flying Thunder God Kue that he had shot, so as not to leave any traces. Just after all this was done, Lu Ren heard a movement. He didn't talk nonsense. When his mind moved, a Flying Thunder God made a move, and the person disappeared. Lord Hokage, this is it. Kurenai Yuhi and Matekai appeared here with a group of people. It turned out to be Hizen Sarutobi and some other people from Anbu. As for the avatar of the Flow Blade, it was just a clone created by Lu Ren using the most common and low-level clone technique. It was no problem to deceive Hong and Matekai, but it would be revealed to the 3rd generation. So Lu Ren's clone made a random excuse to separate from Yuhika and the others, and did not go along with the 2 to invite Sarutobi Hizen. When Sarutobi Hizen received the report that Kurigakure's ninja swordsmen appeared together in Konaha, they were also surprised, and did not dare to delay. Immediately the first time, followed by Hong and Matekai, they came quickly. However, when Sarutobi Hizen led the elite troops, they found that the scene was already empty. Whether it is the 7 ninja swordsmen or the mysterious expert Hong they mentioned, all of them are not there. Lord Hokage, it's a beheading sword. Some Anbu personnel were surprised to report to Sarutobi Hizen. The beheading sword is very famous in the ninja world, and it is the iconic ninja sword of Kurigakure. Without the person from Anbu reporting, Sarutobi Hizen also saw it long ago. He rushed to the front of the beheading sword through the instant body technique, picked up the beheading sword, and weighed it in his hand. The beheading sword was left on the ground. Could it be that the owner of the beheading sword has been killed? Sarutobi Hizen said to himself. Lord Hokage, you were right, the owner of the beheading sword has been burned to death by that mysterious man using a black flame. Red immediately reported to the side. That person was killed here. Sarutobi Hizen asked again. Hong and Matekai carefully identified the position, and then gave a very positive answer to Sarutobi Hizen. Yes, Hokage-sama, it is here. Hiss. Sarutobi Hizen gasped on the spot. There was no trace of anything on the ground except the beheading sword. You told me that he was burned to death. What kind of sky-defying flame is this? It directly burns people into nothingness. It's just too perverted. Immediately afterwards, Hiruzen Sarutobi personally inspected the battlefield, and finally found 4 other ninja swords scattered on the battlefield. There are 5 ninja knives in total. Could it be that all 5 of the 7 ninja knives were killed by that mysterious man? Sarutobi Hizen only felt that his breathing became quicker. How long has it been since Hong and Matekai reported to him? Did that mysterious man actually kill 5 ninja swordsmen and 7 people in such a short period of time? The combined strength of the 7 ninja swordsmen is stronger than that of Shadow. But Sarutobi Hizen also understood that the significance of the 7 ninja knives to Korayan, and the significance of the 7 ninja knives to the 7 people of ninja knives. If the people were not killed, it would be impossible to leave the knives behind. There is a high possibility that the owner of these 5 ninja knives is indeed dead. Thinking of this, Sarutobi Hizen couldn't help but feel a suffocation. Suddenly, Sarutobi Hizen recalled the mysterious man who beat Onogi to the ground when Iwagakure invaded Konaha. Could it be that these two are the same person? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.